Hi, everybody, and welcome to Book Club with Bae. I am Bae, and this is Bae. Say hi, Bae.
Hi, Bae.
And say hi, other Bae.
Hello.
So
we have a interesting way we're going to start today's stream as a celebration and also a mourning. So, okay, Google, it's time.
Rest in peace, you three. I will notify the authorities that the casts are responsible.
All right, everyone.
Okay. All right.
That's enough of taps.
Yeah. Welcome to Forgotten. This is, for now, the last House of Night. We made it! We did it! All right, everyone.
And we're all drinking to celebrate.
Cheers.
Cheers,
everyone. Cheers, Mara.
Cheers. We fucking made it, you guys. Oh, crap. I don't have to. Okay. We made it. Oh, my God.
It was a rough road.
Even if I didn't love this mug is needed for this book.
It is. If we thought political agendas were up front last time.
Yeah, if we thought Ian loved or whatever the freaking first one was.
Lost.
Yeah, if we thought the first one would make Tulsa strong again was bad, we were wrong.
We were wrong. We were horribly wrong.
So Trump needs to provide me with my alcohol today.
That mug is so stupid, and I love it.
I love it. I saw it. I'm just like, I need it. I need this in my life. I showed Stixie, and he's like, yeah, get it. I'm like, thank you. He likes to hold it and like imitate and do Trump impressions about how nobody drinks coffee better than him.
It's coffee. Oh God. Well,
so
we started out fun. It's all about to get.
It is. It's about to get bad. But I mean, I think we need to look at the bright side. For one thing, you pointed this out to me. You were like, "You guys get to decide what we're doing next.
Yeah,
the next bad book." And I was like, "You're right. It's not.
We get to decide now."
Because I was like, for like the first time in forever. We don't know what the next one. We don't know like what the next.
What are we doing next? Who knows, guys?
But I'm so happy not to know.
Yep. And while yes, we are going to get through the rest of the cast catalog, I think we need a cast break.
We need at least a couple months. Mm-hmm. We need to wait until a little bit into 2020 to come back.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I can't do this again.
The casts have a pretty lengthy catalog, and I don't think we're ready.
They have a very lengthy catalog, and like I'll have you guys know, we have a group chat, and
yes, we do.
All three of us are having mental breakdowns.
I actually cried.
She did cry. She's not.
I literally almost, and I think Addie was saying as well the same. This book literally made me start dry retching, almost like fighting to keep the vomit down.
The only reason why I wasn't about to vomit was because I didn't have to read that part directly.
You heard about it.
But I heard about it, and it was gross. But I didn't have to listen to it, so I didn't have to suffer, thank God. But, like...
Everyone, this was bad.
It was so bad. And
we all started around the same time yesterday.
Yep, and we ended...
And we finished together.
And we should have all been finished like hours ago, right? Hours ago, if we just sat and listened. We couldn't. We literally, I think we finished about half an hour ago.
Yeah, just about. Because we all hopped in to StreamYard after. Just be unhappy together for a little bit.
Yep. Like, I wonder if there's a PC and Christine Cast recovery support group.
Yeah, we need it. And actually, this is it.
This is it.
This is it. We're
The Club with Bay is a recovery group.
It is
for the House of Night
Actually-
Spirits.
Actually, I think perhaps that should get added to particular reviews. A link to these streams for those who need to recover.
Just hear some people bitch about it for a few hours.
Yeah. Because it is bad. It is very bad. And it's upsetting. And we're gonna get into it, obviously.
This is gonna
Yep.
be a stream.
But because it's always book club tradition, we have to say our ratings for it. We don't stand
Yeah, there's only
No.
one thing to stand.
like
Okay.
we don't stand this so hard that we needed a group chat to support each other because this was very hard. Like honestly, it was so difficult to get through that we didn't get through it.
I literally just skimmed the last 3 chapters.
I ended up listening to the book on to get through the end on 2.9 speed.
Yeah, like that's what I would have done had I been allowed.
That's the audiobook version of skimming. You just speed
Yeah.
it right up.
Yeah.
It was so bad that SDA was driven to actually review the book.
I actually reviewed the book on Goodreads. And real quick, just so and you know what I said last stream, I never review books on Goodreads if I don't like them because it makes me feel bad. I don't feel bad because I hate this book and I hate this series with so much of a fucking passion that I reviewed the book on Goodreads because I don't like it that much. And so we're going to read my review real quick just because we're in the review section. So that's what we're going to do. So I gave it 1 star because I can't go lower.
We can't give it nothing.
I can't give it negative, and I can't burn it on a computer. So that's why. Because 1 is still positive, Like, I think if you get a 1 star, that's what you still have to remember about yourself is well, it's
At
still,
least you didn't get 0.
it is a star, But I said the casts are back with another installment in a series that could have ended on a high note with Redeemed. This book features their patented brand of wokeness, hilariously paired with blatant racism, sexism, and homophobia. If you read the original series, you don't need to read The Other World because this is the exact same series down to the poems, scenes, and conversations, word for word. Then there's the atrocious grasp on geography and history. I'm not sure how a single book in this series was published, given that an editor should have caught the 700 overtly offensive things included in every line of text. Further, they have not bothered to keep up with their own lore, so don't worry about remembering anything because none of it matters.
That's it. That's the review.
And one of the things that amuses me about that review as well is because the end of this book has a spell for how to deal with grief
Yep.
and then a Q&A section. And in one of the answers, PC says about how her research continues well into writing the books. And I'm like, and yet you didn't know that the Creek and Cherokee weren't in fucking Oklahoma until 150 years ago.
Yep.
Yep.
Everything's great.
Me.
Everything's amazing and wonderful. Thankfully, though, this book was 13 chapters less than Lost.
Thank God.
But because nothing happened,
It didn't feel it.
the book mostly follows other Nefret, and other
Because
Lynette.
why not?
I don't know if you guys
Yes.
remember Lynette.
Yeah, Lynette was
She was in
the
Redeemed.
party planner in Redeemed, who
She's a
made
real estate
the
agent here.
hostages. Yeah, who made the hostages fucking. No, she wasn't a real estate agent in this. She had the same business, but then when the war started, she became the receptionist at the airfield.
Oh, where did I get real estate?
Her
agent from?
dream is to own real estate.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's where
Yeah.
you weren't wrong.
Yeah, she
She wanted to be a real estate tycoon.
Yeah, that's right. Okay.
She wanted to be an evil real estate tycoon,
yeah,
which is very on the nose. Yeah.
Not gonna lie, I probably had because we all have our, fortification.
Yes, we
My
need it.
cider. But because I almost never drink, I'm already starting to feel my cider, which is probably like one of the lightest of the liquors.
It's okay.
But it's daytime, so I can't drink hard liquor, which is also probably a good thing because I'd be massively wacko wasted by now.
It'll be great.
It's
It'll be
fine.
Great. So let's dive right into the prologue, shall we, guys?
Okay,
this
prologue.
Just go watch the Colonus Fall stream.
No, but
All of it.
my first note though is this prologue though is complete evidence that they did not write Colonus Fall.
Yes.
When they were talking in Colonus Fall, like how the history of the universe bit. It was like,
which is in the prologue.
Yeah, like it still wasn't like amazing, but it wasn't like, oh my god, this is cringy as fuck.
Yeah,
it was actually kind of interesting and like, okay, I can live with this. This is good.
Yeah.
But it was virtually just copy and paste.
No, but this had cringe in it.
Oh well, I mean, like the conversations and everything.
No, but like even the creation of the universe in this prologue, the way like talking about just the way that things were phrased, it was just.
But why are we reviewing it again?
That's my thing. That's the thing is like it's already. Because like here's the thing: if you're gonna do this, this is why something like a preface makes sense. Like if you need to review it, like that's fine. But you have like preface. It's been a couple books. This information was in this book. If it's been a minute and you don't remember it, here's the information. Bada bing, bada boom. Moving on.
And in this universe, this thing doesn't happen because the preface is, or the prologue essentially ends with, well, what if, they were honest with Kelowna about what happened and how Erebus is friend zoned? What if we were honest about that? And it's like, why the fuck were we not honest about it in the first place?
Because they didn't think to do that. Yeah, that's why, Addie.
And
I'm not yelling at you.
No, I'm yelling.
I'll wait until we get to.
I want to make that clear to like the audience because I know that you two know that I'm not yelling at her, but I want to make it clear to the audience I'm not yelling at her. We are all mutually yelling in frustration.
We're all very angry.
Cool. I just want everybody to know I'm not abusing her because I was like that just came off horribly.
But I'll wait until we get to where Erebus tells Kelowna for my rant about that entire thing.
Yeah, like they didn't even handle it well. But like it also just like cemented your from Tuesday night, your thing where you were like with the Heath thing, it wasn't that like Zoe was like, oh, but maybe not. You know what? It was because they read a bunch of reviews where everybody went, that was fucking dumb. And then they were like, maybe that was fucking dumb. And so then they were like, well, what if like we weren't fucking dumb? You know what? You're still fucking dumb. Because here's the thing. In your lore, you know what? You actually have a thing where like people can fuck more than one person. So what makes more sense within the context of your stupid fucking universe is if Kelowna was just jealous because Nyx likes getting double dicked. Okay? That's what makes way more sense.
Foxy, protect me.
Isn't that what makes more sense in the universe? Am I wrong? Look me in the eye and tell me that I'm wrong.
You're not. You're fucking not. Like, all they had to do was just make Kelowna not jealous.
And let's just get into it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so it starts off, Erebus is looking at Nyx and she's like hella sad. Like, in timeline space, we're probably at around the same time where
Kelowna was about to fall.
Yeah, where he was about to fall. We might be like that soon. I don't know.
Kelowna? Like, she asked Erebus, she's like, should I, like get him out of here?
Push him off the ground and,
And Erebus is like, not to my brother.
Yeah, he's like, no.
Yeah, and the thing is like, Erebus is saying to her, like, but like he's miserable and we could just fix it. And she's like, and her response is like, he's like, it's like, because if we don't tell him, everyone's going to be heartbroken. And she's like, I'm a goddess. My children often break my heart.
Yeah.
Real deal. And it's just like, but what about Kelowna's heart?
Nyx is
Nyx is horrible.
She's an abusive bitch.
Yes.
I hate her.
She literally, like, her reason for, in case you haven't listened to our rant on Kelowna as well, her reason for not telling Kelowna that she and Erebus are just friends is because they had a conversation the night the vampires were created, and she doesn't want the vampires to know that they were a mistake. Right.
Yeah. And
That's it.
My rant is, because I think we can pretty much just skip forward to when Erebus now.
Erebus is like, I'm
Fuck
telling
that, I'm going to tell him.
Kelowna. Yeah.
Yep. And then he tells Kelowna, and guess what? They managed to have a conversation about an event that has nothing to do with vampires' creation without mentioning the vampires.
I wrote down, Jesus,
Imagine my
how
shot.
fucking easy this was.
But like, okay, real quick,
It's not even
check,
breaking
just
the
because, just for anybody who's watching this who might be a little confused. So in the House of Night universe, polyamory, although they never like call it that, or they never really get into the nitty gritty of it because the cast are too stupid to understand what they're even talking about. Polyamory is permissible in vampire society
For women.
for women. If you're like a high priestess or a goddess, you're allowed to have
More than
one male lover
or female lover, I guess.
or
It
female
doesn't really
lover, I
matter.
guess.
Yeah, just love
Yeah.
Yeah, just lover. And so, yeah. But also, if you're a guy and you're not okay with that arrangement, you're an evil piece of shit.
Yeah.
And you should die in a fucking hole. And like, honestly, your balls should be fucking chopped off. You're the worst person ever. Also, you're a cheating bastard if you don't want your girlfriend to cheat on you without your knowledge. Don't worry about it. We'll get into that later. Because that's in this book, right? Or was that in the last book?
Heath does show up. So
Was the Eric thing in the last book?
yes,
Yeah,
Eric-
Okay. Yeah, okay, sorry.
Yeah,
That's
well,
not
in
this book.
Love, Eric apparently cheated on her.
Although, right, like, Nick's, because
That's right. Nyx was like, Kelowna, don't you want children? And then he was like, with you? And then he was, and then
no,
she
I
was like,
have enough.
and then she was like, no, I have enough kids. Why don't you go fuck somebody?
Yeah.
And then
Yeah,
he
why
was
don't you go
like,
find human lovers and impregnate them?
Yeah, and he was like, I don't really want to. Like, you're enough for me.
and she was like, how odd. It's like, they literally don't, the casts are so weird.
Yeah,
Because they're so fake woke because they don't like within like the bounds of polyamory. Okay, anytime I've ever heard it talked about by people who are just not even like trying to promote it, but just trying to educate people on it is a better way to put it. They always talk about like discussing boundaries within the relationship, and you would think it with like authors where the entire society is based on this.
They would all be consensual.
They would know how it's supposed to work.
And whenever Zoe was in one of those situations where she had Heath, the human lover, and then one of her like 50,000 vampire lovers, it was never consensual between the three parties.
No, it wasn't.
Heath was
or 4 or 5 parties, depending.
Yeah,
Heath
exactly.
was like, I don't give a
The
fuck.
love pentagram.
Stark was eventually like, if you really need to be with Heath, fine, fuck it. But Eric was never like, yeah, you can go fuck someone else. Like, the big problem with it was not consensual between all the parties, and that's why we hate it so much, and that's why we call Zoe a stupid whore.
Yeah, well, like the thing is, if they had set it up where it was like genuinely consensual between everybody, that's completely different.
Oh yeah, that's fine. That's great. Do it. You want it, but
And the drama, and there still could have been drama with trying to balance it
yes.
and stuff. But it was just like Eric was just like, "Hey, can I please be your one and only?" And she's like, "How absolutely dare you call me a whore?"
Yeah.
But excuse me, well, I'm gonna go fuck someone else now.
And
Just to prove you that I'm not a whore, I'm gonna fuck every other man in this school.
Which
And then
happens.
And then check just to like further explain like what the cast did with Eric's character. Right after Zoe breaks up with Eric,
After
Eric-
cheating on him
Eric
in front of his face twice.
Yeah, Eric, who has been cheated on multiple times in front of his face, then hooks up with somebody, You know, after like not doing
It's
anything wrong.
implied. It's implied
It's
that
im-
he hooked up with.
Yeah, it's
They
implied.
walk into a room
They
together.
walk into a room together, and then Zoe freaks out because they are broken up at this point. He waits until they are broken up to speak to another female.
To
And then
find solace with
freaks
another
out.
female.
And then she freaks out and she's like, "You couldn't have waited until like 2 days." It's like, you didn't wait until you were broken up.
And
Like,
that's our heroine, but we
He didn't-
barely
He
hear
couldn't even wait till he walked out of the fucking room.
but
Yeah.
then check. Just
Again,
just
she's
to
not yelling at you, she's yelling at the cast.
Yes, I'm yelling at the cast. I'm not upset with you. And I'm sorry. And then
Like I said, you're good. The authors are just hypocrites.
you were good. I adore you. And I'm sorry because
And
I do.
then in
You were genuinely a
first
sweet
one-
person. I'm sorry.
And
I
then
need
in
to
the
calm
first
down.
book of this series, they're like, "Oh my god, Eric's being loyal to Shawnee." What a
Yeah, and I'm
shock.
like, Eric never cheated on you.
Eric never cheated on anybody. And then
Your problem
not
with
only
Eric
that-
was he wanted to be monogamous.
not only that, like Eric was always portrayed as a very mature human being, vampire, whatever. And then after he and Zoe break up, the cast are always like, Eric's like an immature piece of shit who like can't grow up, who's always like relying on his looks and stuff. And it's like that was never a thing. It was never a thing at all. It was like he was always a very mature person and stuff. He was always like top of his class, always super smart, always working hard and stuff like that. But no, because he didn't want to be cheated on, he's a bad. All of the problems in their relationship were Zoe's fault.
Yeah, and we'll get into their hatred of men after we
Oh,
finish
we
the
will.
plot because there's a Q&A section and whew, Jesus Christ.
The cast hate men.
The cast or the PC cast hates men.
Yeah. Whoa. Yeah.
But let us continue with the plot, shall we?
Yeah. So in this reality, after Erebus is like, "Yo, just friends and shit," Clona's like, "Oh, okay." And Erebus is like, "Why are you never happy?" And he's like, "I don't know." And Erebus is like, "It's because you were never taught how to feel joy. Have some of my joy." So they do a blood exchange, and then so Clona gets some of Erebus's joy, and Erebus gets some of Colona's bad mood.
Yeah. Which it just evens them out essentially.
Yeah. So now they're like both fully functional human beings.
Yeah. With full emotional capabilities.
Yeah, but what this has led to is Erebus being like, "Well, you know what? It'd be kind of nice if I had, a person to, be my one and only because I don't have that."
Yeah. Which
And I'm
makes
constantly
sense.
Mr. Third Wheel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then so Kelowna wakes up Earth Mother, and Earth Mother's like, "But this makes no sense. He should be happy just being the third wheel."
And you should be happy to
Clona's
just
like-
fuck a bunch of humans.
And Kelowna's like, "Yeah, but no." And she's like, "Fine. Well, guess what, Kelowna? You get to sleep for millennia, and I will make him a lover."
And Kelowna agrees to this without even being like, I wonder how Nyx would feel
Well,
about
he does
me.
wonder. And then he's like, "No, I told Erebus to tell her that I'm doing something for him." So he's just going to disappear for a millennia.
Not even like without being like, hey, Nyx, goodbye.
Yeah.
I know
Yep,
we're like
and-
in love and stuff,
Yeah.
but like toodles.
Juicy.
And I almost died when they rewrote the poem about Kelowna from because
You mean
those
later?
of you who don't remember, there was like the ancient one sleeping, waiting to
Yeah.
arise, blah blah blah, and it was like about how to free Kelowna and the Tisai Scully and all that crap. But they've rewritten it to fit this new.
Mm-hmm.
So
Of Kelowna
Kelowna's-
choosing to go rest in the earth for a millennia.
Yep, and now and in OG world, Kelowna is like the Earth weakens Kelowna, whereas in this one it sounds like the Earth is going to strengthen Kelowna.
Yes.
So whenever he's weak, instead of avoiding the Earth, he has to go back into it.
Yeah.
I'm hoping that actually has any sort of relevance in the next book.
It's not going to.
I kind of hope they bring Kelowna back, but this Kelowna kind of seems like a wuss. So
I'm kind of wondering though, like if there's even going to be any point to this because
They're
the next
going-
book feels like it's
yeah.
going to take place in this world, not other world. So
get there. So Earth Mother, as like Kelowna is getting encased in Earth, makes Erebus a lover, The lover's a dude.
I feel like we went through this elaborate 5-chapter romp just to be like, Erebus fucks men. Goodbye.
Yeah. Then we never hear from Kelowna or Erebus again.
Yeah, apparently Nyx had also always told Kelowna that Erebus would be more content with a male lover than a female.
Bitch, win.
And I don't understand.
Like, cool, Erebus, you're bisexual or whatever you are, whatever you want to be, Erebus. But
And
like, yeah, they just kind of pulled it out of nowhere.
Well, it's kind of like with Erin. They were like suddenly lesbian.
Even though she's not in this book.
Yeah.
Because she goes and fucks Dallas later.
Yeah. And
whatever. But like,
I don't know if Addie listened to the audiobook, but I'm assuming Bayu would have for the beginning of, at least the beginning part of it.
yeah.
Did you notice that one of the wise women was Grandma? Her voice, it was like an early incarnation of Grandma.
I did.
mean,
And I just wanted to die.
Yep.
I'm like, Grandma wasn't there. Fuck off. And Earth Mother's just like, go and be fertile so everyone will remember the poem. Be fertile, fuck a lot, have fun.
Yeah. And that's the end of Kelowna's part of this story.
Yes, now we go to
Now we're in Nefrit land, chapter 6.
By the way, we've had a prologue and 5 chapters just to establish that.
Yeah, this took
Kelowna-
forever.
For nothing.
That was a chapter. That in and of itself, that was all just the prologue. That was a prologue.
Yeah.
Like, honestly, it could have been a sentence.
Kelowna never fell, but he sacrificed himself to get his brother a lover. There. That's it. We didn't have to see any of it.
Or even, we didn't even need the sentence. It could have just been, we could have had the reveal of Kelowna not falling or whatever. Or at
Later.
least when we read the poem again later.
Yeah.
Because then they could have been like, I wonder what this means. Well, they were like that, but the reader as well would have also been like, I wonder what the fuck is going on here.
Yeah.
But no.
But
So
now with Nefrit, after Stark and everyone betrays her at the football game, we covered that on Tuesday. And her darkness tendrils are hungry, so she goes and eats a bar full of people. And then the white bull is like, "Hey baby, you wanna be my consort?" Like, that's what he does.
And
I'm confused in this one, right? Because in the other one, Nefera seemed to really get off on the bull getting all up close and personal. In this one, she's just like, I guess I'll play along, but I'm disgusted.
Yeah.
maybe that's because we were all like, did Nefrit just fuck a bull? Ew. And then they were like, maybe we shouldn't have her get turned on by that.
Yeah.
It's meant to be evil, so why would they have a problem?
Maybe they were like too far. I don't know.
Bestiality is the line, apparently.
Maybe that was the line, but apparently
Well, and incest rape, because in this version of Nefrit, she didn't get raped by her father.
Yeah.
She got raped by someone else. I think Arthur.
I'm wondering if it was Arthur, yeah.
Yeah, I think it was Arthur.
Yeah, we're not told. We're just like, that other Zoe was right about,
Me getting raped, but it wasn't by my dad.
Yeah.
So they thought that incest fucking or incest raping and bestiality was too far.
apparently. I don't know. Or maybe like the new publishers were like,
Yeah, because these are different publishers from
that
the
could
original
be
series.
it. It could be like the publishers were like, you can't have her enjoy this. And they were like, what?
But the new publishers let a lot of different stuff through.
Yeah, they did. They really did.
And
But yeah, this time when he like tears open her top and is just like, I'm gonna lick your tits, she's like, ill.
yeah.
Yeah, at least inwardly. Outwardly, she's still like,
She's like, I'm
yes.
gonna play along because he's offering me immortality.
But just to give you guys a visual, because we had to live through it, there is a literal giant white bull with a topless Nefrit, and he's licking her tits. That is what is happening.
bestiality, my friends.
You're welcome.
So she is like, no, I'm going to get immortality myself so I can be worthy of you. So I'm going to go to Sky with a home of old magic, which is from what, like, burned and then awakened.
Yeah.
And yeah.
And, like,
that's the chapter.
Real quick, can we just, again, acknowledge the weird tone shift of, like, weirdly, like, topless Nefret being felt up by a bull? Like, how off base that is.
And I just read an exact quote from the book. The white bull nuzzled her, leaving long streams of cold saliva dripping from her breasts.
Like I said,
this is a young adult novel meant for, like, 16-year-olds.
Long strings of cold saliva. I'm already out of alcohol.
I need more rum for this.
If I need any more, well, I do need more, but I'm pacing myself because, like I said, I don't drink really. So I'm
You're
gonna
30
wait.
minutes. Yeah.
I'm gonna wait to go and get another one.
But yeah, so this is kind of like with Nefret's curse and stuff like that, where I'm like,
this is meant for 16-year-olds, and you're putting graphic sexual content in your book. Like it's.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if it was adult, you know, I wouldn't have a problem with it.
Yeah, no problem at all.
But it's just like the really crazy tone shifts. Nobody caught this.
Excuse me, guys.
Bless you. Good.
So after that conversation, Nefret's like, I'm going to go to my private hangar and also make sure that we, like, name drop the exact model of the private jet. I actually didn't look this up. I'm gonna look it up.
Yeah.
Sorry, keep talking about that scene.
At the airport, she runs into Lynette. This is boring, I wrote down.
It is.
Because it's just her meeting Lynette again, and it's very similar to the original conversation she and Lynette had, where she's like, I am Nefret, worship me. And Lynette's like, yes, ma'am, whatever I can do for you, ma'am. Oh my gosh, my goddess, my queen, my lover, my everything.
Yeah, basically, like, this book is pretty much revealed.
All over, or redeemed. Revealed and redeemed.
Kind of like, yeah, like revealed, redeemed.
Yeah, like it's the worst parts of redeemed and then revealed, because revealed sucked.
Yeah.
Fucking bad.
Yeah.
It's like the endish of revealed, and
then we jump to other Lynette's perspective, and then they somehow get in Scotland on the plane, and then Nefret kills, I think, one of the people on the plane, right?
No,
Yeah,
she kills one of the people that works at the airport.
yes.
And then she killed the pilot because he was
Yeah.
he was a cishet white male.
Yeah.
Oh, that's one thing as well that Lynette's just like, he was the type of man who thought that the fact that he was white and attractive meant that he could, and male, could blow, like, he would get anything he wants in life. And I'm like, do you know how long it takes and how much money it takes to become a pilot?
Being a pilot is not a lucrative job.
But also, again, like, it takes a shit ton of training.
Yeah, exactly. Like, it takes a lot of time, and it takes, like, a lot of training. And also, it's not one of the most lucrative jobs you can have.
Unless you manage to get into a specifically awesome job. But
yeah. Like, it's not as though you're working for, like a CEO of a company and, like,
yeah.
Like, you're not going to be making, like, billions of dollars a year. You're not going to be a millionaire as a pilot. You're going to have, like, a good, solid job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you're also going to be stressed as fuck.
And you're not going to be home often.
Yeah, like, it's a tough job. Like, what the hell, guys?
And Lynette's just like, oh, okay. All right. Well, I'm here now.
Oh, I'm going to bring up this point now. Like, that's another thing, because, like, you brought it up, is they say stuff, like, Lynette and Nefret say stuff like this. And I'm like, is Nefret actually supposed to be evil, like, to the cast? Because they use Nefret and Lynette to say stuff like this. And I know that they think that, especially because of, like, the Q&A session at the end of the book. And so that's what had me, like, Googling, like, is PC cast divorced because I was like, is she married? Is she
And the answer
angry?
is there is no ever revealing of Kristen's biological father, which I think further supports my theory that artificial insemination.
Yeah.
I agree.
On one night.
Or one night, like something, but we'll get into it later.
Yes.
We're talking about them as
Yeah,
when we get into the Q&A.
like there's some sort of hard bitterness. Like I'm like,
Something happened.
PC is Nefrit. Nefrit is her power fantasy, in my opinion.
But she can't admit to it, so she's made Nefrit evil.
Yeah. Chapter 8 is other Nefrit's perspective, and it's literally just Lynette is her bitch. It's like what we saw in Redeemed.
Yeah,
Of her doing bitch work for her. That's it.
yeah.
Yep, so
Cut and paste into this scenario.
Yep. So their plan is to fly to London and then go up to Scotland to near the Isle of Skye and run and pretend that they're not there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that Nefrit can gain immortality, which they never really, they show kind of how, but it's just using old magic, and I feel like old magic can't grant you immortality no matter how hard you try. So, whatever.
It's never really actually explained.
It's because they don't know.
Yeah.
Well, because they never really explained it in the last series.
No, and
No. And it's funny because like when Nefret's talking to the white bull, she's like, well, why didn't Skeoth become immortal? And he's like, well, because Skeoth thinks that if you're not born immortal and you gain it, it corrupts you. And Nefret's just like, what a moron, as if it could be corrupting. And where a line of thinking should have been, who gives a fuck if it's corrupting?
Yeah.
Because Nefret's already power hungry and she knows it. She knows she wants more power, so she's just like, I don't give a fuck. Not as if it would be.
Because, like, honestly, that logically makes sense. You'd be like, yeah, okay. Anyway, moving on. How do I get it?
yeah.
Yeah. But then we go to fucking Kevin,
And
who is, for some reason, eternally mourning Aphrodite.
yeah, and my first note for this chapter, cursing rating, in case we never say that, even though we curse all the time. Fuck it all. Heath, fuck you, and fuck your parents for birthing you, and fuck the cast for birthing you, and fuck yourself for still being alive. Fuck everything for, and then it's just gibberish.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah, it
Heath
was.
shows up and is like, was Zoe really here? Can you tell her something for me? And I'm like, I'm gonna literally come in this book and fucking murder you.
So I started the book, just for context, a little later, I think, than you guys did.
Yeah.
So when they said Heath, I don't think I realized exactly what happened in the scene. So when I got there, I started texting you guys, and you guys were like, yeah, I know, right? Because I was just like, oh, you got to be fucking
Heath
kidding
literally
me.
just
'Cause
shows up.
He just shows up, and he's just like,
so they can have fucking Heath in this book.
and also just so they can be like, just so he can be like, hey, was like Zoe here? Because like I like want to see her, and like I miss her. And then he's also like, hey, baby bro,
Yeah, he's like,
you want to like go fishing? And it's like, what the fuck is this? Like, why are they friends?
Yeah,
It doesn't
like-
even.
From the sound of it, from both Kevin, like from Zoe talking to other Kevin and everything, it pretty much well establishes that their relationship prior to Zoe being marked was the same in both realities.
Yeah. So they weren't super close.
Zoe couldn't fucking stand him. She thought he was like a little monster.
Yeah. So there's no reason why Heath would be like, oh yeah, little bro.
Oh no, but remember though, hey, remember that time that I didn't even tell Zoe that you went out and did some graffiti, and then I stopped those big bad boys from beating up on you? And this is like a page and a half of dialogue of a scene that is like, just to be like, so you know that if you say keep your mouth shut, I'll keep my mouth shut, right?
Yeah, like, I don't know. And then he says something, I don't fucking remember. It's something else that really pissed me off. That
Another joke. Did you mention the endgame thing?
Yeah, that was, there we go. Yeah,
Yeah, and
they're like, oh, did
So-
Zoe show up to like Avengers Endgame that shit? And I'm like, she's one person for one. Two, Endgame is more epic than you can ever dream of
Like,
being.
How dare you
How fucking
let
dare you?
that touch this
And
book?
also,
A
a
year
year
ago, Glee was relevant. This isn't okay. None of this
a
is
year ago,
okay.
flip phones.
not just Glee.
Now we have
Season
Instagram.
1 Glee. Season 1 Glee was relevant. a year
Season
ago.
1 Glee was relevant, and they had flip phones, and now it's Avengers Endgame, and I'm gonna yeet myself off
Instagram.
a
And
cliff.
Netflix originals.
Yeah.
Because the Netflix original, some of the Netflix originals gets mentioned in this. The cast don't. What was my complete summary of this entire?
So they also admit, not directly, but they highly insinuate that it's New Year's Eve by the end of the book. So they acknowledge that it's only been like 4 or 5 days since this Otherworld series started. But they're acting like it's been
Yeah.
2 months because Jack becomes a swim
Otherworld-
coach.
Yeah, the Otherworld started on Christmas Eve, and the
Yeah.
football game was New Year's Eve. The football game was on New Year's Eve.
And then they're having fireworks at the end of the book.
So other
I
Jack,
don't get it then.
other Jack, while they would have been on some sort of Christmas holiday,
So it's been
Became
a
a
week.
swim coach.
became a swim coach,
But
and they went to and they went to a high school swim meet on a week when there wouldn't have been one.
It's summer. It's winter break.
We'll get to it. Because I can't, I don't have the mental capacity. Because I'm still thinking about Heath and how much I literally, like, I hate some fictional characters. I really do. But there's no one I would want to go into a universe and murder with my bare hands more. Like, that's brutal.
Then Heath
But
Luck.
that's Heath Reginald Luck.
Why is his middle name?
Who apparently
Reginald?
likes fishing when his whole identity was just booze and fucking football.
Just Bud Light. He should just be mainlining Bud Light in every single universe. Just like,
Here's
like
my summary of the series. Sorry, I just found it.
Good.
Like, in one sentence, this is the entire both series. Nyx is emotionally abusive. The cast don't understand how time works. So is a slutty hypocrite. Die Heath, die and stay fucking dead. And Aphrodite is us.
Yes.
yes,
That text was amazing to receive.
That is literally House of Night in a nutshell.
yes.
Yeah, if you want like a 10-second pitch, that's it.
Die Heath, die and stay dead.
And because like I said to our group chat, I was like, Heath, I was like, they need to stop beating a twice dead horse. They have killed this man twice, and he is still somehow fucking relevant. And you want to know why he's fucking relevant? Because he's Kristen's favorite character. More reason why I fucking hate these people. Anyways, I don't hate them. That's a really strong word. I'm sorry. I strongly dislike what they've created with
I
this
hate them.
series.
I'll say it. I hate them.
Me too.
Okay, fine. I concur.
I hate them.
They genuinely caused my sanity to break, and we'll get to the line that literally broke my sanity.
Yeah.
I was sitting over on my other couch, literally just crying. Like laughing, hyperventilating, crying because my sanity finally fucking broke.
Like,
And we'll play the line for you guys.
like I went through I've read all these books, and I'm sorry, I hate them.
I just found in our text when I started singing.
When what?
I texted "What is life?" and then I followed it up with "Casty, don't hurt me."
And she was like, singing won't fix this or something like that.
But I was
Anyways.
amused.
Well, because every time they start singing in the because they also keep singing. This was the last book, but they
Yeah.
keep singing musicals in the books with Jack, and it makes me want to. I want to murder Jack.
Yeah,
Like,
so I want to kill Heath. She wants to
I
kill
want to kill
Jack.
Jack because
Mara,
I swear
who do
to
you
God,
want to kill?
every time. No, let me
Pardon?
give me 1 second because I have to say
Let
this.
her-
Okay,
Let her go.
because Jack, he died singing Defying Gravity, and he can go fuck himself. Okay, I just want to take his little skinny neck and just, and I want to pop
Finish
his,
the Claymore's
I
job.
want to pop his little head off for that because fuck him.
Because he's a toddler.
And then
he has the emotional capacity of a toddler.
He is. He's a fucking toddler. And then he also let an adult man fuck him. And then also,
who turned into a toddler.
And then he turned into a toddler too. But you know what? At least that's appropriate.
Maybe.
Maybe. I don't know anymore. And then at least they're all fictional. And then
yes, FBI,
and then
don't come for us. They're fake.
And then they brought Sound of Music into this. And
they brought a lot of my favorite pop culture.
What is even what hurt me most in that scene was that Aphrodite joined in.
Yeah.
Yes.
Aphrodite should have fucked this and walked off.
Yeah.
And it hurts me that they destroyed Aphrodite just a little bit more than they already did.
Mara, who do you want to kill most in this universe?
Myself.
Oh, Grandma Redbird needs to be on our kill list.
Yes, he's on our kill list.
There are too many of them to pick just one, so I have to kill myself because if I pick one, the rest will still live.
Nukes.
I like it.
Yes,
just
nuke
nuked
it from
Tulsa.
orbit. It's the only way to be sure.
We nuke Tulsa. We get our favorites out of there. We get Aphrodite and Darius out. And Rafam, sorry, Rafam, you don't get Stevie Ray anymore.
We also have to nuke Chicago because Cremation went there.
Fuck, yeah, you're right.
But she's coming back to the next book, so we'll just wait for the next book and then.
Oh, yeah, so we just gotta wait until the end of the series is over, and then we'll nuke them.
We nuke it.
Yeah.
I'll get Stark out. Other Stark, not our Stark, because our Stark
is tainted.
Our Stark's tainted, and
he kissed Pickle Mouth.
Yeah, so I gotta get other Stark. And I got to get him out.
No, I feel sick again.
We'll skip it when we get there, okay? We'll just mention it once and we'll skip it and we're not going to talk about it. Okay, let's continue.
We bookmarked it for a reason. The masses have to hear it.
Oh, God. All right, well, let's let Mara not puke yet.
Yeah, I'm just going to turn my volume down when you read one of you two will have to read it out, and I'm just going to mute you guys for a minute.
We got it.
Yeah.
So Heath just wants Kevin to tell Zoe goodbye from him. Because he's like, well, I never got a proper goodbye with Zoe. She just kind of fucking died. And I was like, well, good. Then
No. He doesn't want Kevin to tell her goodbye. He said, tell her I just want a goodbye. So he wants to see her to say goodbye to her.
Well, he better fucking not.
Is he going? Because we established by the end of this book that I think Kevin and Stark are going.
Yes, I'm so fucking excited.
But
that's what I stand.
I stand that. That's what I stand.
Is he gonna stow away in their portal in their backpack and come through with them?
I don't.
If he does,
I'm
really not gonna finish the next book. I'm really not. I'm gonna refuse. Actually, I won't because I would need to see if the two Starks fuck. But
here's what I said. I don't think I said this to the group chat, but I said it. But I said it to her. I said I will forgive a solid 35% of this entire series if the two Starks look at Zoe dead in the eye and go "fuck you" and go "butt fuck"
in front of her.
To romantic music.
Because our Stark is the bottom.
I am wondering if Zoe's going to be like, oh, well, at least now I get to have a threesome without it being cheating.
Well, it's going to be weird because other Stark is going to be like, yeah, your girl kissed me. And then Stark's going to be like, you fucking what, mate? And then they're going to...
you fucking what, mate?
Until they start having sex.
Yeah,
they're going to arrow each other and then Zoe's fucked. I'll swoop in and save other Stark and then I'll run away. I love me some other Stark now.
Other Stark we stand.
Anyways.
Yeah.
So
I'm reserving judgment on other Stark until next book.
Well, I just love Stark.
I know.
And ours is tainted.
But I think they're going to taint him too.
I'm saving him right now. I'm going in.
I honestly think Heath is going to hitch a ride with them, right, to the other world, and and Zoe's going to get TP'd.
It's gonna be like a 4-way. It's gonna be a whole ass origin.
Yeah. I think.
And then like Lauren Blake goes, "Oh, is dead." Thank God.
Yeah, other Eric can hop in on that. Origin.
No. I honestly just think though that I think the two Starks are going to be at a bottom end, and Heat's going to be at the top end, and they're just going to go for it.
Oh, they're gonna Devil's Triangle it? It's just the 3 boys? No,
Yeah,
Heat.
no. Zoe's going to be in the middle, and she's going to get a dick in every hole.
Oh yeah, that works.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not gay if the 2 Starks are at the bottom end, because like if their dicks touch, well, they're the same dick. So
Speaking of this subject, SGA tweeted PC Cast last night
Oh yeah, I did.
because we were
yeah,
talking
you
about the
tweeted
2
at my
Nefrits.
question.
I did because we were
Oh my
talking
God.
in the group chat, and I
Yeah,
was like, you
we're
know what?
convinced that
The 2 Nefrits are probably gonna fuck.
yeah, okay. Spoiler alert: this book ends with other Neferet, going to OG World.
And she's gonna release OG Nefrit.
Yes.
Yeah. So if the cast have any remote sense of psychology, the 2 Neferets will hate each other except for the fact that they find each other attractive. So they're either
Yeah,
going to
hate
kill each
fuck.
other, or they're going to fuck each other, or both.
To establish dominance.
And then, which raised the question: if you fuck your other self, is it sex or masturbation?
And so, because we couldn't figure out, like, you know, amongst each other, like, what the answer was, I stopped, like, I was just like, you know what, screw it, let's just ask. So I said, like, hey, PC Cast, if you fuck your other self, is it masturbation or sex? And she hasn't answered me. And so I think everybody in this stream right now should just tweet PC Cast, hey, if you fuck your other self, is it masturbation or sex?
If enough people tweet her.
Just everybody tweet her. Everybody go ask. Do it. Because I want to know.
Why are you disconnecting? My headphones keep disconnecting.
Well, that's not good. Tell them to stop
Rude.
it.
Anyway, let's continue this train, shall we? So they're having like a meeting, and Laurent Blake is still alive in this universe. So he's like being like a little, I wish we could still keep fighting the humans. And Kevin's like, literally, fuck you. And then they're like, all right, well, we're revoking your title. You need to go pray to Nyx.
Can we also, like, his personality is 100% different.
Yeah, oh, it's 100% different.
It's hundo different.
So yeah, Anastasia Langford strips him of his titles, and then she's like, go pray to Nyx for
What?
yeah, banishes him to Nyx's temple.
Does she have the power to do that?
No.
Yeah, she's a high priestess. She can strip him of his titles.
Is she?
She's a high priestess now.
Oh, okay.
She assumes high priestess hood.
Just lost all my sound. Fuck.
Oh, no.
Technical difficulties.
That's not good.
Why?
We don't like this.
Give me a
We
second.
don't- We don't stand.
Gonna try again.
Okay.
Okay.
There we go. I can hear you
Yay!
now. Yay!
So then we start out chapter 10 with other Lynette, and Nefrit's asleep, and so Lynette is like, she's an interesting person. And they're at a B&B in Scotland. And then we go to other Nefrit's perspective, and she reveals that she's been fucking Laurent this whole time, which, I mean, duh.
I mean, she was fucking Ron the other time.
Yeah. And she's using darkness to make her a bridge to the source of the power in the middle of this ancient lake.
Okay.
And part 1 of immortality. Check. Other Lynette is like witnessing her feeding her children. And then they tried to attempt Scottish Gaelic. And as someone who reads a lot of the book called Outlander, and actually the woman, Dinah Gabaldon, does a ass ton of research on ancient, like not ancient, but like 1700s Gaelic. I know what Gaelic looks like, and that was not it.
There's someone who has. Yeah, you can't really. There we go. Scottish. Yeah, garlic on my arm.
That
And
was not.
You know what, as well? I also know that that is not how it's pronounced.
Yeah.
As a history major, everything in these books hurts.
Like,
So-
if you are gonna do anything with any sort of Celtic language, For starters, it's Celtic and not Celtic because they say Celtic somewhere in one of these books as well. I think it must have been in this one. They said Celtic. It's a hard C. But also it is not pronounced as it is spelt.
Yeah, the Celtics are the
yeah, nothing.
That's the basketball team, by the way. Just to clarify, that's the American basketball team, not the culture. Sorry.
But they bring throughout this whole Scottish section, they bring in a lot of like places from Outlander, like and I was pissed. I was like,
now you know how
stop.
I feel when they brought Isle of Skye into this, because it's like for years it was like I want to go there.
Yeah.
Now it's like I don't think I can ever go there.
They brought Inverness into it, and that's where like Outlander starts, is in Inverness. And so like for me, I'm just like, y'all lost me 8 times by now, but this is just the 9th I'm out, dude. Like,
and also just the amount of time, like, okay, I've worked with Scottish people before, like I've got Scottish heritage, but like multi-generation Australian, so like it's just heritage now. It's not like, but I've worked with Scottish people before, and yes, you'll get the occasional like I, like AYE.
yeah.
But like I'm pretty sure in the first conversation Lynette had with like the owner of the B&B, the woman said like I like about 30 times.
They
like,
stereotype so hard, which we
They
knew
stereotype
this,
everything. Well, it's kind of like, for example, we live in the South, okay? We say y'all.
Yeah.
And depending on what kind of mood I'm in, I say it a lot, or I say it a normal amount. It would be like writing out my dialogue and having me say it every other line.
Yeah. It's not okay.
like for a lot of people, their deep-rooted accents don't come out unless they're like highly under the influence of something. Because I know everyone I'm friends with, when everyone goes to a party and they're all drunk, I mean, it is just Georgia country accents all up in that bitch.
We get very Southern very quickly.
But up until then, just a normal right mind, I don't sound Southern.
Neither do I.
But if I'm around a bunch of people from Georgia.
Oh, yeah, cool, because that's the thing. Like, you start feeding into it as well.
Yeah.
And then, all of a sudden.
Yeah, like,
so,
I mean, and that happens a bit as well. Like when Bay was here as well, she would slip into a bit of an Aussie accent regularly.
Yep.
And when I worked with a bunch of British people, half the time I'd realize mid-sentence I was saying something in a Bath accent or something.
mm-hmm.
And I'm like, let's just try and wind this back to Aussie without anyone noticing.
Right. Yeah, and it's like they're at that 100% drunk level or 100% like exposure level all the time.
Yeah.
It's like you don't actually talk, like people don't actually talk like that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and
it'd be like if Mara was using Australian slang every 4 words.
Yeah, no, I try and avoid that because it's not a thing that, and pretty much you'll find any Australian that is like talking to non-Australians will avoid hardcore slang.
Well, yeah, because like now that like Bay and I have been friends for so long, when her and I actually talk to each other, we actually both use a lot of Aussie slang to each other now.
I understand it now.
Yeah, because I understand it now. But you also use a lot of American slang too, because we've exchanged a lot of stuff.
I get in trouble off of Stixie when I use American words for things.
Yeah, so
the other day I said I'm gonna run up to the store and he's like, the shop. I'm like, I'm sorry.
Yeah, so we stick to Aussie slang so that she doesn't get into trouble.
Yeah. Oh,
but
also, is it like I've heard this, but like I have seen that roundabouts do exist in the US, but they're just not particularly common there.
Dude, fuck roundabouts.
They're starting to become a lot more common.
Because Lynette's like, oh, I can drive in Great Britain, except those roundabouts, they do give me a headache. And I'm like, okay, American accent, not British, but it felt right.
I hate roundabouts with a fucking passion.
Oh, they're so convenient though.
They are.
Have you ever had to turn like at a T intersection when you're the last one that gets right of way at that intersection? How if it's busy, you can be sitting there for 25 minutes, whereas a roundabout now, you can just be like, done. Whoop.
Yep. In some places, though, that they're building them here, it doesn't make sense. Like, they're building one right by her house, and it's the stupidest fucking thing. There's not enough traffic there for them
It doesn't make any sense for there to be a roundabout there. But also, like, the really, really big ones, I hate them.
Well, yeah, multi-lane ones are...
There was a roundabout. Why have you cut out again? Fuck y'all. Can you guys say something?
Oh, hi.
I'm deaf again.
No.
Let's try this again.
Yes. Hello.
There we go.
Yay.
Yeah, like there was a big roundabout near where I live that got replaced by traffic lights because there were always a lot of accidents there. But the reason why there were accidents was because the middle of the roundabout was literally just really tall trees, so you couldn't see shit. And when they were converting it to traffic lights, they destroyed the roundabout and then just painted the roundabout onto the road, and no more accidents happened because people could see.
Oh my God, what an idea. See, in Jersey, they've got like jug handles instead of like left-hand turns, which is like fine because that's easy. That's not a big deal. Like, I don't mind that. And I don't mind like the small roundabouts. I don't care because it doesn't like make a difference. Like it does, but I mean like it doesn't make it as far as like convenience for me. And then they're like the massive ones though. I'm just like,
yeah, multi-lane roundabouts get confusing when you're first learning how to, enter.
Yeah, they don't have those here yet. Like I haven't experienced any around here yet.
They take a minute to get used to, but
what we do have are like
most confusing ones though are ones where one of the roads on the roundabout is 2-lane each way, and then the other road is 1. So it's a multi-lane roundabout, but only 2 of the roads entering it are multi-lanes. The other ones are single lane.
Yeah, that hurts.
Those take a while to get used to.
One thing that we do have are like reverse diamond interchanges. I like those.
I don't know what that is.
It's where like near like an interstate, the roads, instead of like you taking a left turn, really like the roads will just cross over each other.
Oh yeah.
Like
you'll exit to the right and then it'll just like yeet you around.
It's like literally you will just cross and then you like uncross and then like I don't know. It's actually like, super convenient.
Oh yeah, like in
like on
that county.
Yeah, like on 85. Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
I would probably have to see it to get it.
Well, like the lanes, so like we drive on the right. You end up driving the left lane. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah, you end up driving the left lane for a minute, so they yeet across so you can exit.
Okay, talk.
Okay. Can you hear us?
What the fuck?
This isn't
I'm gonna
good.
leave and come back, okay?
Okay.
Okay.
Hello.
Hello. We are here.
Yes.
Yeah, now we're talking about roads.
Well, I'll bring us back into it. Chapter 11, everyone.
After
we're over
that
halfway
brief
through this
interlude.
book. It's other Kevin, and so other than cleaning out the tunnels for the red vampires because they're all killing themselves and it's very stressful and sad, we're getting rid of all. Hello.
Hey,
Hi.
There is
the red vampires.
Well, I think it's because of the stream.
We're getting rid of.
Oh crap! Wait, give me a sec.
Okay.
Hi guys.
I think it's because of the stream.
Yeah, there. No, why is this still playing? What the fuck? I'm leaving
Technical
again.
difficulties, guys. Anyways, so we're getting rid of all the pictures of Zoe from the football game off the internet because apparently she was a notable enough figure that people taking pictures of her and like, oh my god, ghost Zoe.
Even though she didn't do anything in this
she just got
timeline except die.
Yeah. And so they know that Nephrin has darkness, and we saw like we go through something that we saw on Nephrin's perspective. I didn't write down what it was. But so he's mourning over Aphrodite again. It's all very annoying.
Stupid.
And then they make a plan to get Kelowna
They do.
out of the ground.
They don't do it.
Yes, the cats are interfering from the stream. They're listening. They're watching.
They know.
Hello.
Hi, PC. What up, bitch?
Answer her question on Twitter.
Answer my fucking question on Twitter, motherfucker. Sorry.
So the plan is to get Kelowna out of the ground. Mara just texted us. She said she'll be back soon.
Okay.
And so Grandma Redbird shows up with some fucking cookies because that's her identity. And we go through.
Can you guess what flavor they are? I bet you can't. It's a fucking mystery.
And so this is when we pull out the two poems we were talking about earlier, where it's one from our universe and then one from their universe that shows that Kelowna was not like banished to underground. He chose to go underground essentially. And I wrote down all this is probably gonna be useless. Probably never gonna talk about it again. And we had some political agenda about immigrants right here. Yeah, where they were like, oh, they're treating us like illegal immigrants and they're trying to send us back to Europe. And someone's like, we didn't even fucking come from Europe. We started here.
How would they even know that, though?
I don't know. Hello, Mara.
If they never spoke about, like, how they came to be, how would they know where they came from? Because, like, according to the
You're fucking right.
Because according to, like, the other lore and, like, the globe that was shown to Aphrodite, there's a lot more of them in Europe than there are and also, like, the High Council is in Europe. And
but
also
they were
nobody's
created in the Midwest.
but nobody's allowed to talk about that. So how would they even know where they were created other than to make the fucking point about immigration?
I don't even know.
Damn, she right. Yep.
Because also it happened way back in the day. Like, because also I from memory as well, and you guys will probably actually be able to correct me if I'm wrong because you would know, but most Native American stories were word of mouth. They weren't written down.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So there's no way for that information, like it's highly unlikely, especially if it is secretive, that information wouldn't have stood the test of time.
No.
Yeah.
Which is why they avoided talking about it. They're like, well, hopefully everyone will just forget that this happened.
Well, and like I said earlier, like I said just now, according to at least like what was shown to Aphrodite and like what's implied by the fact that the High Council is in Italy, right?
Yes.
Yeah. It's reasonable to assume that they were created in Europe or first appeared in Europe.
Yeah, like that's what's implied by the entire thing.
And yet they somehow know that they were created in the Midwest, even though Nyx and Erebus and Kelowna are forbidden to speak of that night.
Right, because then also like a big thing about vampires is like on the Isle of Skye and everything. Like a lot of their old lore comes from Europe. So
they made this point just to push their political agenda.
Almost all of their spells and everything are more European in nature.
Yeah.
And also I have to ask, like even just from like a political perspective, like if you're gonna talk about like immigration, wouldn't it be possibly a more powerful political message to just be like, you know, like it doesn't matter where we came from, we all made a home here, et cetera, et cetera. Like, wouldn't that be the more powerful political message
than breaking your own lore?
Yeah.
Yeah. And this scene also led to me texting you guys half asleep last night about them trying to suppress any mention of Zoe at the stadium.
Yeah, that.
Am I missing something?
We were just talking about it, and I was like, no one knows who Zoe is in this universe. She died. That's it. Brutally murdered. Yes.
They'd probably know her by face because her death was what started the war. She was the catalyst for the war.
But at the same time, like, why does it? What you could just say, oh well, this girl just looks like her.
Like,
It's
I'm
totally
gonna
reasonable.
look. I'm gonna be honest. Even though I know exactly, like, I'm trying to think of like really high profile political deaths, like Michael Brown or Trayvon Martin, for example. If I saw like a picture of them, even if like I see like a picture of Kim Kardashian, like it takes me a second to be like, that is who that is, like, because I'm just an idiot.
Yeah, it would be difficult for people to be like instantly like, holy shit.
But especially
Holy shit.
especially like political figures and like news figures, you know, like people who are on the news. It takes me a minute to be like, that's who that is.
Yeah.
You know?
I like, but also, again, though, they're like, oh, we need to hide any pictures of her and any mention of her and this and that. It's like,
you can't.
She slapped Neferet across the face.
That's the other thing.
Her.
One, Neferet knows. Two, you can't do that.
Well, and their point was to make it so Neferet didn't find out about the other world, but like at the same time, what is Zoe's face gonna trigger?
Well, like either Zoe's a ghost, Zoe came back to life, or something.
Even in death,
or in death, Zoe is special.
I'll be back. I'm gonna grab more
because Zoe's here and she managed to slap Neferet across the face when she was, you know, dead. Zoe, and so like, you know, like Neferet knows.
Make sense.
So like,
that's the thing that confused me. Like, it's not like Zoe was there like covertly and didn't face off with Neferet. If she had, sure, I get that. I get them being like, oh fuck, we can't let Neferet find out that Zoe was there. But they had a face off, and then Zoe slapped her across the face.
Exactly. So it's like, and then also, like I said, with the suppression of stuff, it's like you can't just. That's not how life works. You know, you can't do that.
Yeah, and I don't get it.
Yeah, I don't get it either.
Well, because one of their big things was like they were gonna, like Kevin was like, oh well, we're buying the rights off of people. It's like you can't buy the rights off of people's Instagram stories. Okay,
like
somebody
was like,
what would have made more sense? The first series established that Jack has an affinity for technology because he can plug in a CD player
and install baby monitors.
Yes. I mean, I managed to set up a baby monitor in my kids' room as well. I must have an affinity.
You do.
But what would have made more sense is if they were using Jack's affinity to hack.
Well, other Jack doesn't have a technology affinity because he's not the same fucking Jack.
Well, he should have. And apparently other Anastasia also doesn't have an Earth affinity.
Anastasia had,
but she stands in for air, right?
Yes.
Like,
but does she have an air affinity?
No.
No, but we established in Dragon's Oath, though. We found out that she got an Earth affinity.
Yeah. And obviously that stuff is still canon in this universe, except for the Ravenlocker part. I don't fucking know.
I'm gonna yeet myself.
That said, though, she felt she was close to the Earth until the face-off with the Ravenlocker. So maybe without that thing, she wouldn't have.
She never got it. Yeah, I don't know. So Stark. This was a big thing for me because they try to push the soulmate agenda, but also not push the soulmate agenda all at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
Because Stark is like. I only knew Zoe for like 2 days before she died. I only knew this Zoe for like not even 20 minutes. And I still feel like I know her. I know this woman. And even Darius' last book was like, I know Aphrodite. I know this woman. Like, I feel it in my soul that I know this woman. And so they're pushing that, but then they're also like, oh, well, you're my Darius, Kevin. Like,
yeah.
So they're pushing and pulling this agenda, and I hate it because pick a side. I vote for the soulmate side.
Well, but then Grandma's like, it would be really cruel of our goddess to give us.
Well, you know, your goddess is a fucking bitch. Your goddess is a cunt.
But that's the purpose of a soulmate, though. Like the origin of the soulmate myth was that we were originally
Atoms
like
together.
like 4-armed, 4-legged beings, and we were split, and we had
Oh
to.
yeah, that too.
Yeah.
And you had to find
Your
other
other
half.
half.
That's what a soulmate is. Your other half. You can't.
Which, like,
have
who
more
the
than
fuck
one
is
other
Heath's
half.
other half?
The black
The
girl.
black cheerleader.
Because they establish in that Stark is Zoe's, but they've also said before that Heath is Zoe's. So who fucking knows? Like who fucking knows?
What does
with this
Zoe
book?
just get to?
Zoe's fucking special.
Yeah, you either
Even in death,
you either
Zoe's
have-
special.
Yeah, you either have it so it's like most people are firmly in the camp of you only have your one absolutely true love,
Yeah.
or you just have, a great love and then you can move on to another great love if that doesn't work out for whatever reason.
Yeah.
Stick with one.
But they hip scotch hip skippy dip between two of them. My words didn't my brain didn't realize what.
I just got a
trying to
mental
do.
image of I just got a mental image of the cast crunking across a line and back. And now I don't feel okay, just so you know.
Yeah,
Well-
so they do hopscotch. Is that where you were going?
Yeah, I think that's
Yeah.
what.
I didn't know what was going on.
And then Aphrodite. So Kevin and Grandma do an Aphrodite cleansing ritual, and he's like, "I just want to sign." And then they go to the mess hall, and someone pops her favorite champagne, and he's like,
Yeah.
"Like, please fucking shoot me with a." I'm sorry. Just give me a moment. Please just shoot me with a what's it called? A flamethrower to the face.
Yeah, I'm actually going to Google this champagne. I just want to see what it looks like.
She's googling the champagne.
There's
Can you pop champagne in school? In this school, you can.
Yeah, no, the alcohol's allowed at the school, remember, because they don't get
Yeah,
the
alcohol's
drug.
allowed at the school because of the bloodline. Yeah, I need the baby bottle.
Okay. Guess what?
What?
Because I know that they say it later that she drinks rosé, right?
Yes.
And like when we go back to our Aphrodite, she gets a glass of rosé, and it was the same thing. Rosé is not champagne.
It's
Googled,
proof champagne is what they're saying.
They don't have. No, I just Googled the brand with pink.
Yeah.
It's rosé. It's not champagne.
You can't like pop a bottle of wine like that. You do get that satisfying pop, but you don't get that.
You can either have the
sparkling wine.
Sparkling rosé, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, or whatever the fuck, or you can have the rosé. It's not fucking pink champagne.
Yeah. So
So
research my fucking
gonna
rough
name
nut.
drop, if you're gonna name drop a brand, make sure they actually sell the shit you're name dropping.
This is.
Like,
Anyways,
I don't blame Aphrodite. Rosé is amazing. I love rosé.
oh yeah,
But
agree.
this is
but-
bullshit.
So we move on to chapter 12, and it's other Lynette. Stark is now the spokesperson in the House of Night, and that makes Nefert cranky because he's a male. And every night, Nefert goes out to feed the darkness to make herself stronger, so she can eventually like contact the sprites and be like, "Hi, make me fucking immortal."
Yeah, and she collects sea glass and
Yeah, she like collects random shit, and then Lynette.
she tries to skip stones.
They start
but
skipping rocks together
but
after she notices
Never-
Zoe's picture is disappearing.
But Neferet, in her hundreds of years of life, is too fucking dense to go, oh, the stone needs to be flat to skip it. No wonder I'm failing. I can't remember ever not knowing what the approximate stone shape had to be. I've never succeeded in doing it. I can't do it to save my life.
Yeah, I can't do
But
it either.
I know that they need to be flat.
But like I've seen it done.
Yeah.
And God bless anybody who can do it.
Yeah, right. And then they bond over the fact that they were both raped.
Yay, rape
Because-
victim.
Yes, and this is where we learn that in this reality, Neferet wasn't diddled by her dad.
Yeah, she was
That was
diddled
someone
by Arthur, who was her savior. We assume it's not confirmed, but she talks about Arthur right before she's like, "Yeah, I got raped."
Oh, actually, wait. The book. I'm either I missed this in the audiobook or this bit wasn't in the audiobook. It was Arthur Simpson that raped her.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, but I must have missed that in the audiobook. Because it says that, my dad sold me, effectively sold me to Arthur Simpson, who raped me.
Yeah.
Which is who saved her last time.
Yeah, which is who saved her in Nefert's Curse. Then Lynette mentions Zoe and her pictures disappearing, which makes Nefert go like, what? So it's next chapter, and they're discussing the photos, and Nefert is like, this Zoe is not our Zoe. So who the fuck is she? Then they talk about sprites, and Lynette is just fully Stockholmed. She's in like Flynn with the Stockholm syndrome.
Yeah. She's in the last, in Redeemed, she, you could tell it was a survival instinct. She wasn't actually Stockholm. She was just playing along to not dead. In this one, she's like, nope, I'm all in. I worship the ground you walk on. Oh, and if you would grant me the honor of letting me scissor you, I would.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, Lynette's definitely wants to be lesbian lovers with this woman. Then we're finally with Zoe. And I said to her, I was like, holy shit, I've never been excited to be in Zoe's perspective.
I know, I was like, really? Yay!
Because it's something fucking different that
we're
we've never read before.
14 chapters in, and we go back to Zoe.
And it's the stupid god. Oh no. Oh no. We're almost at the part that broke my sanity. We're almost there. So we're going to a swim meet with humans because, during Christmas break, where the humans would definitely be on.
Because that's when you do swim meets.
And so they get someone from Chicago named Casey, who's like the star swimmer. And then there's something about Jack being gay.
In case you forgot.
And he's the coach of the swim team.
Yes. He's coaching the swim team. And then when they get there and they're like, so what's your mascot? And Steve is like, Ravens. And Jack's all sad. He's like, I wanted this to be the swimming seals. I'm like, do you know that a school has one mascot, not like a different mascot for every...
Yeah, right?
Every team.
And Aphrodite makes fun of him for having a lisp. And he's like, I only get a lisp sometimes.
Yeah, so Jack is a lispy gay.
And casually in the middle of this conversation, she turns to Stevie Ray and she's like, hey.
I just read how they wrote the list.
Yeah.
It was just a
a bunch of S's.
But it should have been an STH.
Yeah, Outlander has a bunch of lisps in it, and they write it how it's supposed to sound, so they don't have to be like, this man has a lisp. They're just like,
it's a lisp.
Show, don't tell. And she's like, hey, Stevie Ray, do you wish you and her fam stayed in the other world? And Stevie Ray's like, no. And then Zoe's worried about other Kevin, and this is the line that made me lose my sanity, everyone. That I literally sat on my other couch.
She did.
And I started hyperventilating.
I was worried.
And she was like, are you okay? And I just kept saying, check your text. But I just sent them the line.
Yeah, and I've got it ready to play, but the lead up to it is they decided they need to start cheering on the people, their swimmers.
Yeah.
And so Stevie Ray's just like, go House of Night Ravens, woohoo. Zoe yells, go Ravens, swim fast, you can do it. And Aphrodite's like, let me show you how this is really done. Okay, are we ready for this?
I'm not going to lose my shit this time.
Is your body ready?
Oh, God, not again.
Wait.
I heard Aphrodite sigh and say,
In case you didn't hear that.
Going hard, come
Yeah.
out wet.
Go in hard, come out wet. Ravens.
NS. Ravens.
Ravens. Ravens.
And I read that, and I literally started hyperventilating, laughing, and crying.
And then what made it worse was then Zoe and Stevie Ray look at each other and go, that sounds good.
Yeah, there's
Let's
nothing
all
wrong
do
with
it.
that at all, right?
And then they all start doing it.
We're not the only ones that think this is a sexual innuendo, right? Like, we're not the only ones.
Go in hard, come out wet.
It's also, even
If you all
The
don't
sexual
chant that
innuendo
every single
aside, that
time
is
you
what-
have sex, you can't be my
Like-
viewers anymore.
this is coming from someone where high school sports isn't a thing here. If you want to do an organized sport, it's a club outside of school. Okay?
Really?
And we don't have cheerleaders. No.
From
We
House
have
to
like
House
PE
Tonight,
at
yes.
school. Some schools do have like the clubs, like some schools.
Yeah.
Just say there was a school called St. Philip's. They could be the St. Philip's football team, the St. Philip's netball team, etc. or club, sorry. But that's an outside club that is just sponsored by the school, and you don't have to go to that school to join it. And we don't have no high school cheerleaders, nothing like that, right?
Yeah,
So
'cause
I
the
don't
House
know,
Tonight can't
like-
participate.
Yeah, so I have not gone to a school where cheerleading is a thing. And even I know that that is the worst fucking cheerleading rant or chant, sorry.
In a high school setting, do you know how many people would bully you for saying that? Like,
Yes,
16-year-olds
but
are
like,
fucking mean, y'all.
honestly, but even just a let's go, LETSGO, that is a more suitable chant.
Then go in hard, come out wet.
Come out wet,
RAVENES.
Without it, and it didn't even have a specific, flow to it. It was just, she was just yelling out the spelling. Okay, that's the narrator's fault, but still, it happened.
And that's when I lost my sanity.
Go in hard, come out wet is a line in this book multiple times.
Yep. And their star person,
Yes.
Casey, starts coughing in the water. And blood is coming out. And they're like, oh, fuck, our bitch is rejecting the change in the middle of a swim meet. God damn it.
And just because we didn't actually go into the contents of the new Kelowna poem, this bitch has something to do with other Kelowna coming up. Because it mentioned something about red water and fire water or something.
You're fucking right. Yeah, because Zoe goes down there and like blesses her with fire and water.
So like the water, like the pool gets filled with blood, so bloody water, and then this chick ends up. Aphrodite accidentally gives her a second chance and shit. She comes back and she's got an affinity for fire and water.
Yeah.
And doesn't it like give everybody bad press and stuff?
Yeah, so then the next chapter, chapter 15, they're all worried about bad press. And she was like, well, I mean, if you're gonna have fledglings there, they can just fucking die sometimes, you know?
Like, doesn't everybody know about that, though?
And that was Stark's point. Stark was like, I mean, sometimes people just fucking die, dude. Like, I don't know.
Like, that's the thing about being a fledgling is, like, sometimes they just keel over, like, like, you know?
Yeah, it's not a secret. Like, that was one of the things Zoe was freaking out about when she first got marked.
Yeah. And so now, like, the humans are like, maybe we shouldn't have fledglings be in sports.
But it's like, it's not the sports that do it. Like, they can just be, like, watching, like, TV, like, eating popcorn, like, I'm, like, dead. Like, you know?
I mean, I can understand the humans saying that maybe we shouldn't have fledglings involved in our swim meets anymore because that's unhygienic.
Well, it's unhygienic, and then it's also, like, it's traumatic for humans to witness someone just fucking dying. While
Can fledglings get AIDS?
No.
Because if they can't get AIDS, then it's not unhygienic.
No, they're not.
No, I know, but
It's
do you
still
really want to go in a? Do you want to go in? Go
No,
in
I'm just saying it's technically
even if it's clean blood. Do you want to go
weird.
swimming in some blood?
I'm just saying it's technically not unsafe.
It's still weird.
It's kind of gross.
It's gross. You can't get AIDS from it, but it's still gross.
I mean, are we trying to treat the vampires like people or not? People sometimes spontaneously die. That's all I'm saying. Okay, we don't make old people go away just because they might keel over and have a heart attack all the time.
I know, but it's also like it's the same reason though why you don't admit someone into the military with severe mental health issues, because it's a trigger for more severe mental health issues. They've got a higher than average risk of dying a bloody death in the middle of your swimming pool.
Yeah, like it makes sense. But then Zoe's like, we're gonna build a pool and we're gonna build a football team and we're gonna have everything. And Stark apparently was a wrestler.
When the fuck did Stark wrestle?
This is a good question.
Awesome.
Like in this sentence.
He was an archer.
Yeah.
Like they made that up.
Yeah. So we're getting all the sports, all of them. And then Aphrodite's like, oh yeah, so Detective Mark stopped by and was like, Nephrit's followers are like leaving notes on her like grotto, mark, grave, whatever you want to call it. And they're using cat blood to like diddle the grave, essentially.
Yeah.
And
I have to BRB for 1 sec, but I'll still be listening.
Okay. And so they're gonna install some cameras over there, and I was like, oh my, Jack's gonna install baby monitor, then he's gonna get another fucking
Yay!
technology affinity. We love it.
Yeah, we stand Jack and his baby monitor. It's a very specific affinity.
And then, well, like we talked about, Casey, the one who died, she wakes up and she's an affinity for fire and water, and they're all like, oh god, this is not good. Because they're foreshadowing Nefrit coming back.
With the killer or something. I don't know.
That shit's not her fault.
Well, if you kill her, does that change it?
No, because the prophecy is already fulfilled at that point. But chapter 16, we're with other Nefrit, and she and Lynette are playing with fire and water sprites.
I have a question, though. Would it not be worth a shot?
No. She already died once, and Aphrodite gave a part of her, like, vampire life force. The sooner that Aphrodite gets rid of her vampire life force, the sooner she has to marry someone else and have babies. Per Nyx's
But
guidance.
also, Nefrit's going to come back. Okay.
Nefrit was going to come back anyways.
Yeah,
like, and tonight is the night for immortality, and this is when they start bringing up Inverness, which I already was pissed off about.
Yeah.
And so she's gonna like sacrifice little items to represent the elements and gives the sprites the offerings. And Oak, our sprite from the past book, shows up and she's like, the fuck do you want? And she's like, and Nefrit's like, well, you know, don't you feel like shitty that Skiak wants to just like keep you to herself and not let you use like suppress the old magic? And Oak is just like, what the fuck do you want, dude? Like, why are you speaking to me right now? And she's like, well, I want immortality. So Oak is like, all right, well, kill your past and kill your future and then come back to me. And that's that chapter, guys. That's it. This is like
whatever that means.
Yeah, oh, we figure it out for some reason.
I would have no idea what the fuck that means.
I'd be like, what the fuck? And so other Lynette, they're like talking about how do you kill your past and your future? And Lynette's like, you know, if I wanted to kill my past, I'd kill my 3 ex-husbands. And Nefrit's like, that's an amazing idea. I should kill one of my ex-lovers. So, yeah, because that's killing her past, right?
Like,
so she's gonna kill her favorite ex-lover, which is our favorite haiku loving Instagram posting man,
Lauren Blake.
Yeah, remember the one that fucked Zoe? Except this is a different one.
Took her virginity,
and then Eric walked in, and then Eric got mad at her, and she was like, "Why are you mad at me? Because I fucked someone else while we're dating? Sorry."
And then she was like, "Look, I'm really sorry, and you should forgive me because had I known that he was lying to me, I never would have done it."
Yeah, that's Laurent Blake. And so Laurent is like posting haikus on his Instagram story. Like this is actual plot. He's posting haikus on his Instagram story about how he misses Nefrit. And so Lynette's like, we should invite him here. Haha. And Nefret's like, haha, I'll just poison him. Haha, let's do it. I'll kill my past, right?
And it works.
Killing your ex-boyfriend doesn't mean killing your past. Oh my god.
That doesn't make any.
So she calls Laurent, and he's gonna fly to London and meet her so she can murder him. And then this Scottish dude shows up, and he's like, "I'll give you some poison," and that's it. I wish this was fake, guys. I really wish this was fake, but really, they got all this from an Instagram story. Then we're with other Kevin, and he's sitting outside the boys' dorm, and there's a party happening in a high school.
Yeah, with kegs.
Yeah, like a full frat kegger party is happening in the boys' dorm. Because that makes some golden sense. And he lives in Aphrodite's old room now, and he's like, I don't want to go there, so I'm just gonna sit outside this party and just watch it happen, essentially. And then Aaron and Shawnee, the other versions of them, show up, and Aaron and Dallas go off to coitus and drink. They don't actually have sex, but they go and drink and stuff like that. And Shawnee's like, I'm sorry, I was really mean to you the other day. And me sitting here, I was like, when?
Yeah,
But-
same. I was like, wait, what?
Yeah,
They
like-
interacted?
Yeah, but they did. And we were like, oh, so like the twins are not untwinned in this. Oh, that's so nostalgia. And then Shawnee immediately was like, yeah, no, Aaron's kind of a bitch.
And we were like, okay, never mind.
Yeah, it's like, oh, we're back to this again. And she's like, well, Erin's gonna come get me in a minute and make me go fucking drink with her because she's so shallow and a bitch. That's it, guys. That's not it, but yeah.
Yeah.
So internally, Kevin is like, I need to shut this party down. But he's got to go to the people that are trying to get rid of all of Zoe's presence off the internet. This still makes sense. And they find Laurent's poem on his Instagram story. Because this is still plot, and I'm still really confused. And so he goes to see Anna, and Anna's like, oh, yeah, Laurent is missing. And they're like, well, fuck, he knows about the other world, and he's probably going to Nefra, and he's going to tell her, we need to, we need to stop this shit. And so our plan is still to get Kelowna and then find Nefrid, and then here is the part I stan.
Stark is like, I'm going with you.
So Kevin's like, I need to go to the other world. I need to talk to Zoe, and or our world. And it's like, I need to talk to Zoe. I need to warn her about what's happening and figure out how to get Kelowna. And Stark's like, well, I'm coming with you. And Kevin's like, there's another you there, dude. And he's like, yeah, I don't give a fuck. I'm going. And I wrote down, I stand. United we fucking stand.
Yeah, united we stand.
Because I'm so ready.
I want them to butt fuck.
I want them to be like, Zoe is a piece of shit and we need to leave her. Because in case you don't remember, Zoe kissed other Stark when she was here and then was like, I love you. And then went back to her Stark and then was like, I love you. Like, is it cheating if you make out with your boyfriend's other version?
I'm going to tweet cast that. I'm tweeting the cast.
Okay.
So it's never cheating if it's Zoe.
No.
It's never cheating if it's
Hey.
Zoe.
Oh, no, I'm doing it right now. Hey, PC cast author. Is it cheating if you
Make out with the other of your SO?
The other version
of your
significant other. There's a lot of question marks. Tweet. Everyone go like
is tweeted.
It's on her TJ Twitter. Everyone go like it and retweet it. Let's create some hype and maybe PC Cast will acknowledge us. Anyways.
You're welcome. I would like to know.
I would like to know, what do they consider
I would like to know if she considers anything cheating.
Well, she
Oh
considers.
no! If Stark wanted to have multiple lovers, that would be cheating.
Yeah.
I would also like to know if Zoe is physically capable of cheating.
Yeah, is it ever cheating when Zoe does it?
Yep. So we're back on chapter 19 with other Nefrit, and they're waiting on Laurent. They're like, well, how do we kill my future? But Laurent shows up, and he's like, oh, hello, my love. Would you like to hear about our Lord and Savior, the other world? And so he just tells her fucking everything.
And he recited his fucking haiku.
Yes, he did.
I know you briefly mentioned the haiku, but I texted you as soon as I got to that. I'm like, fucking haiku. He's still writing
Like
this.
he's still doing this.
He haikus.
I was furious. I was like, no.
If anybody ever haiku'd to me, I don't know what I would do, but it wouldn't be pretty.
Let's be honest, I'd be much more turned on with a limerick than a haiku. And a limerick is not a sexy poem.
No,
But
it's
I would
not.
still be more like it would still be more attractive to me than a haiku.
Would you rather the holy t-shirt situation or a haiku?
A holy t-shirt.
Oh. Okay, coming. Well, one's from a male perspective and the other one's from a female perspective. So that's
Doesn't
kind of
matter.
hard.
Would you rather?
Because holy
You know
t-shirt,
what?
holy t-shirt, I'm already in the relationship, and I can
Yeah,
recover
true.
from that.
You can if you're in love with someone, you can recover.
I can recover from that. Haiku, somebody's trying to woo me, and I have to throw you out of a window, and
Define it straight
yeah.
then.
and I don't want to go through all that effort. And
I mean,
also,
let's be
if we're
honest as well,
dating
if
and
you're
you
trying
haiku
to-
me, I have to dump you.
And like, okay, it's time. It's time for a public service announcement. Sorry, I'm just
It's
okay.
true.
So we're ready for our PSA of the stream.
Yes.
If you want to express your feelings for someone,
Don't do
in
anything
writing.
with that what's in these books.
write a freaking letter. No
Yeah,
one
write
has
a
ever
letter.
cringed at a letter. With a poem, no matter what kind of poem, it's the rare individual who can
It's gonna
write
be
a
cringy
non-cringy.
pretty much no matter what.
Yeah, you've got a 95% like failure rate.
You
with a
can
poem.
solidly write a non-cringy letter.
Yes, write the freaking letter.
It's indirect polyamory. Oh my god.
But yeah,
Polygamy. Sorry.
it's similar. I'm leaving it up because Mara's dying for it.
Good.
Yep, it's so true. And so Nefrit is like, wow, Nefrit is a weak bitch for getting trapped. She was immortal. Are you fucking kidding me? I gotta
Yep.
fix that.
You're a weak bitch, though. That's you. Like, that's you, motherfucker.
So then she stabs Laurent and kills him. And then she goes and meets up with Lynette and was like, we don't have to kill my future. We can just yeet to the other world, get other Nefrit back, take over that world, and we'll come back and take over this world.
Yeah.
Solid plan.
I mean, like, I
Nefrit
admit
is going to release Nefrit.
that is a solid plan, but I also have to ask,
Why?
why are we
still dealing with Nefrit?
I don't
Why
know.
is this the same fucking plot all over
Yeah,
again?
like, why couldn't we
Now there's just two of them.
Yeah, like, why couldn't we just come up with another villain? Do something interesting, do something fun, do something new. Oh my
But
god.
guess what though? It is an other villain.
I hate you right now. Like, I love you,
I
but
need my cat to come back. We
but
need emotional support.
but I don't like
Cassie.
you right now. I adore you, and I would do anything for you. I really would, but I don't like you. Like, right this
Everyone love cat pets happening.
I'm amused.
He's so cute. Okay.
I worship the ground you walk on, but I really wish you hadn't said that out loud.
God damn. All right.
That
So
is true.
Nefrit's like, Lynette, you're coming with me. And Lynette has the very valid concern of, I'm human. Can I even go through this? Like, can I even like acquire passage to this other world? And how are we going to acquire passage to this other world? And Nefrit's like, got it.
Yeah, she's like, I got you, babe.
Doo-doo, doo-doo.
Yeah,
Okay.
So
just
then,
like that.
so then they get in a car and they run away. Back to the B&B. Do you really expect the cast to make newer, better villains? I hope.
but I was hoping it would be
Even if it
different.
was just like kind of a reunion novella, or like novella where they just like it
Well-
was like, oh, life a year later.
Well,
would've been
from the Q&A, we learned that Kristen, the bright little cookie that she is, went, I'm going to do a 10-year anniversary novel. And that was Love. And then it turned into a series.
So in the
Love was
Q&A,
supposed to be standalone.
in the Q&A, they revealed that they were always going to come back to the series and have another book in this. And I fucking hate everything about it because they never intended for it to be the end for real this time. They always intended it to be the end for now.
Well, we should have known that, though, with the end for real afterwards.
Yeah, you're right.
We should have
They
known that.
fucking
They
lied
lied
to
to
us.
us. Like, they showed us they were lying on the next page after they wrote the end for real.
Yeah, and then it wasn't the end for real.
Never trust a cast.
You can't trust them. You know what? I would have left her too.
Anyways, chapter 20. We're almost done. We're almost there, guys. Where the other Kevin, Stark wakes him up and is like, hey, Laurent's dead. And while he was dying, in his blood, he wrote the word sky, like the Isle of Skye, to reveal where Nefert is.
Yeah.
Because that makes sense, because Nefert definitely left before she was sure he was dead, which is not a Nefert move. Nefert would watch very aroused while Laurent was
Nefert would have
squirming and
had
dying.
like her tendrils eat him.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like no, like
The
unrealistic.
tendrils never would. There wouldn't have been any blood left. They would have sucked it all up.
yes, exactly. So
Yeah.
it's unrealistic and stupid. But they also have they have an audio file because like they have a bunch of evidence from the police. Audio file of Nefert saying we are going to the other world, essentially. Paraphrase. Something in my neighbor's apartment just crashed. Excuse me.
There are other ways you could have figured out that Nefert was going to the other world.
Yeah.
That would have been more interesting. But you know, if we hadn't spent most of this book dicking around, we could have been exploring all of those avenues of storytelling. But because we spent all of this
should
book,
be like chapter 3, honestly.
yeah, but because we spent
Yeah.
all of this book dicking around, we can't do any of that because we spent all of this book dicking around.
Yeah, well, it's the true cast style. Like, again, the prologue and the first 5 chapters should have been the prologue.
Yeah.
Like, honestly, the way that storytelling works as well, if it's an event that is only, like, tangentially related to the events of the story or whatever, like, it helps inspire some change in the story,
Mhm.
but it's not actually related to the story itself.
It's
It is
totally
prologue.
unrelated. Yeah.
It's prologue. It's
Or,
not
like,
it's
part
not chapters 1 to
1.
5.
Part 1.
Yeah,
Part 2. Like,
but
give it some sort of sectioning off to show that this is not totally relevant.
yeah, the first 5
It's backstory.
chapters is not part of the story.
Yeah, because like lore
So they
can
should
get
not have been
complicated,
chapters.
and that's fine. And you can start having to section things off. That's fine. But like develop a structure for it. You dig
Yeah,
that?
Even
Don't
if the
have
other
it included in
Colonel
the main
was
story.
resurrected in this book, it still should have been prologue. No matter what happened in this book, the
Yes.
first 5 chapters should have been
It
prologue.
shouldn't have been chapters. Yeah, I completely agree. So he and Stark.
And I just need to take another
good.
moment because I feel like this needs to be stated every stream that we do on this. PC cast teaches creative writing.
Yes, she does, and she's an idiot.
People pay her money to teach them to fuck up a book.
The fact that she teaches creative writing is fucking insane.
So Stark and him are like, all right, well, we're gonna go to Sky, and either we're gonna come back with Nefert, or we're going to the other world. And he's like, yeah, well, I'm still going with you. And Kevin just goes, your funeral. And he's like, I hope you don't mean that literally. And I was like, well, yeah, when our Stark figures out that Zoe kissed you, he's gonna murder someone.
Honestly, at this point, it might be Zoe.
Honestly, I have a feeling though that OJ Stark will. If he's missed at first, he'll go. But I get it because he's me, and I guess you truly do love me because you've only cheated on me with me in the last 10 months.
Which is why I'm taking OG
So I
Stark
love
and
you.
saving him before he gets corrupt by Zoe.
They ruined Stark. He could have been sexy. He was supposed to be.
He was
He
at
was,
first,
and then
which
he
is why I
wasn't.
loved him. And then they fucking ruined him by the scene that we're about to get into, Mara. So big warning.
Oh God.
So we're with Zoe now. For the third and final time this book. They're going to a lake. Don't know what lake. They're going to one to set off fireworks. So I guess it's New Year's, but it's not because there was a New Year's football game. So I don't know what fucking day it is at this point.
Come here, Cassie. Come here.
Oh,
Get away from there.
Cat's trying to get drunk.
Don't drink the drunk. The drunk. Don't drink the drunk.
And this is when the thing happens.
Would you like me to do a dramatic reading of this?
Oh, are we actually gonna read it?
Okay, I'm gonna mute myself.
All right. Well, you have a minute. I'm gonna have to pull it up real quick. Yes, I want you to do a dramatic reading of this. But Mara cannot
I'm
listen
turning you
to
guys
it.
down. Actually,
Well-
no, I'm not gonna mute myself. I'm just gonna turn you guys down, and then you guys can. I'll
Thumbs up when we're done.
Okay.
Because
this almost made her throw up. All right.
Oh God.
Starts there.
Okay. So this is what happened. This is the cursed scene of this book.
That made Mara almost throw up and me gag.
This is gross. I'm probably about to gag doing this. All right. So Stark took my hand and I hopped onto our boat. Did you get me popcorn? Nope. Better. I got you this. Stark grinned and handed me a giant pickle wrapped up like a corn dog. How do you even do that? Like, side note.
Deep
like,
fry
what?
corn dog. Deep fry pickle and corn dog batter.
Gross.
Yeah.
Before I snatched it from his hand, I kissed him long and hard.
Ew.
You're my hero. That's right. I am. And I know my Z heart serves in giant pickles.
Ruined my favorite fucking character anyways.
Stark laughed as we began pedaling out on the lake. So they're like
In
pedaling.
footboats.
They're like on a paddle boat
Oh my god. Okay, continue.
doing this and making. Okay, fine. Hey, wait for us. You know how I feel about physical exertion. Aphrodite called from somewhere behind us. Work those legs, girl.
Well, we can skip this part because it's
Okay.
not it.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay. You look ridiculously cute eating that. Stark reached across the small space between us to tuck an escaping piece of hair behind my ear. Is that a phallic comment? I waggled my eyebrows at him. Stark laughed. No. Your lips look all pickled and your breath is not great when you eat those things. So not dead sexy? Will you settle for dead cute? If you kiss me, I will, I teased. Gross. This is so disgusting.
It's almost over. We're almost over.
I'll take that challenge. Stark leaned over and tried to give me a gentle, sweet peck on the cheek, and I turned my head, meeting his mouth with my pickled lips and kissing him roughly with my pickled tongue, which is in italics.
Yes.
He sputtered and wiped his mouth, but he also took my hand in his and kissed it, grinning at me. I love you, pickle mouth and all. Wait, well, if I didn't believe it before, I definitely do now that you've passed the pickle test.
I'm not gonna lie. I did snicker a couple times because I could see you doing the on the side, like I could see you physically reacting.
I gave him Aiden's voice from the Covenant series.
Yeah, she went Jennifer Arwen.
I went Jennifer L. Armentrout, narrated by Justine Eyre.
Yeah, she did for Stark.
Alex Agapimu.
No,
You know what though?
That's gonna be.
See what I
for a while
mean?
now.
Imagine I'm just sitting here innocently listening to the audiobook. Right? I'm just sitting.
Minding my own damn business.
Yes. And then I get to hear about Zoe's pickle tongue.
And
It's
I wrote
gross.
down, how the fuck does Stark have sex with her what she fucking eats? It's disgusting.
Not only that, can we just real quick? I don't think we. No,
she
ma'am.
really wants the rum.
No, ma'am.
Just let her.
That is not for you. Real quick, can we just talk about a lot of the makeout scenes in this series? Because so many of them.
Oh no, I know what you're about to do.
I have to, like, I'm sorry, because we're here, because we don't talk about it, but it's just something that the cast do, and they need to be publicly fucking shamed for it. I need them to be shamed for it deep in my soul. Every time Zoe makes out with someone, it's always like, I could taste the most delicious mix of Cheetos and Mountain Dew on his tongue.
It was Doritos, thank you.
And it's
Sorry.
like, why the fuck did you think that was okay? Like, this is another thing for our official insemination. Nobody ever kissed her because no. Why would you say that?
Some of the scenes in this series, like that one, for example, just literally, like, they literally make me physically ill.
Soul of the dragon. You just took my soul away.
At least you didn't give him a BJ.
Yeah.
Would that have made him a pickle dick?
Pickle dick! Anyways. So, and then Aphrodite starting to have a vision, so they like take their pedal boats back to the shore, and the vision is her being Lynette, we have deduced, or at least I think we deduced.
They don't know that she's Lynette, but we can safely assume that it's Lynette.
Yeah. And it's at Woodward Park, and Nefert was killing someone, and it was Lynette, and then Nefert was like shifting from like normal to like darkness Slither monster, and then once Lynette died, she was full Slither monster.
Yeah, and she saw Nefert as well coming out of her tomb with like the like thick little tendrils, instead of like a nice big juicy fat one. So I'm assuming as well, like, also, I'm assuming because of like the perspective, and also they just haven't quite worked it out yet that Neferet is coming from like other Neferets coming and shit like that. I imagine that the switching Neferets and this and that and everything, it's both of them. She's seeing both of them, and she's not understanding that she's seeing both of them. Yeah, that's my assumption.
Yeah. So they're like, oh, we just have to make sure this woman never dies and we'll be fine. Because
sorry, you go.
Oh, because based on the lack of leaves on the trees, they know it's going to happen within the next month or two.
Yep. And because a lot of Aphrodite's visions as well have a gut instinct feel to them as well, Aphrodite knows that if Lynette gets deaded, then Neferet's going to take over the entire world.
So they're going to up security on the grotto, and they're going to do a protection spell, which thank fucking God we do not see. And hopefully they do not start out next book with a protection spell, because I will want to gouge my ears and eyes out. And then Kermisha texts her a haiku about Nefert, essentially, and they're like, we will stop Nefert again for some reason.
Oh! That's why I got confused in this chapter in the book as well, right? Because it was like, I thought we were listening from Zoe's perspective, and then it was like Zoe, because you know how it says who his perspective is from, and then they did this a lot in Redeemed. It was Zoe, but yeah, they announced that it was Zoe in the same chapter, straight after the other Zoe.
Yes. They did that a lot and Redeemed, and I really hated it. Because it's like, we fucking get it.
Yeah, because
We
like it
get it.
didn't change perspectives, but they kept announcing it, right?
Yeah.
She's trying to eat a post-it.
Cassie.
And also, does my mic sound better now? I just read in chat, and it switched to my headphone mic instead of my.
Yeah, you're good now.
Mm-hmm.
Come here.
My cat's being rambunctious
Hi.
this evening. And so we're fine. We're on the last chapter, guys.
Yay.
Yeah.
And it's essentially Nefert talking to Oak again and is like, I renounce all my titles with this world. And she's like, and Oak's like, oh, good, you killed your future too. And we're like, that's not what happened, but that's fine.
Yep.
And Oak is like, if you want to go to the other world, you have to kill Lynette. Or we have to kill Lynette. And Nefert's like, no go. We're not doing it that way. And so some old Scottish woman who worked at the B&B is like,
I thought it was one of the younger ones.
oh, yeah, it's we Diana, or whatever the fuck her name is, Denise, something like
Yeah.
that. She like walks up and she's like, I'll die.
And it's like, but why?
But why?
Yeah. You've known that for a day?
Yeah.
Okay, I think we've established that this is the 6th night that Nefert's been there.
Yeah, just about.
Even though that many days hasn't passed in the plot, but anyway.
But like Oak, right before we die, or Denise shows up, Oak is like, I'm really tired of you back and forth between worlds. Either give me a person to murder, or like go the fuck away. Like, I'm tired of you people. And so she sacrifices herself, and then they go through the portal, and the white bull is like, oh yes, my hot, this one.
But Denise didn't actually do it dead. She became a sprite.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I don't know how. I don't get it.
And how is she a suitable substitute for Lynette, who means something to Nefert?
I don't know.
Like, I don't get it.
And her sacrifice is enough to grant passage both ways?
No, so Nefert has to pay with blood on the way back.
But why is blood okay when you needed death for one way?
Death, spritehood, whatever.
I think Oak conceded that it was worth a 1.5 trips. So blood makes up the other half.
Why?
I don't know. I know you weren't talking to me. I know you weren't talking to me.
I know. That's literally like, we were talking before this, and I was like, because I kept asking her questions, and she's like, I don't know, and I'm like, this is our streams where we're just ranting, and we're all like, I wish we could give each other answers.
Yeah, I'm like, I want to give you. I'm looking at you.
It was
like,
when I was having my breakdown.
I'm looking at her like, I want to give you answers so bad, and then like when I'm having breakdowns, she's like, I want to give you the answers, and I don't have them, and I'm like, none of us have answers, and you know what's even worse? The cast don't have answers either.
But it ends with the white bull saying, oh, my heartless one, you keep surprising me, as they're entering into our universe. And the end for now.
Yep.
And we are done for a year.
And besides the, like, oh, this poem is different to the poem Zoe gave us, there was no mention of Kelowna.
Well, and they're going to hit the sky.
But events from the poem, like the prophecy poem things have started to happen in this book, though. So if he doesn't make an appearance, if other Kelowna does not come out of the fucking ground in the next book, I can't rage quit the series because the series is over. So I don't know what I'm going to do, but it's not going to be pleasant.
They're definitely going to just forget. Well, because last book they forgot the Kelowna plot. They're like, oh, we'll just get Kelowna back. It's not a big deal. That's why we're bringing Rafam. And they literally just brought Rafam so he could fuck Stevie Ray in the daytime. That's the only reason they brought him.
And it was the weirdest
It was the worst sex scene ever. Fucking ha, motherfuckers.
We have the Q&A sesh.
Yeah,
let's talk about that.
Since it's going to be a while until we rejoin our favorite authors in the universe.
Oh, I don't think the acknowledgement section is in the audiobook.
I doubt it.
I'm just going to read these acknowledgements. Kristen always is a wonderful editor and partner, but she deserves a special acknowledgement for her work on this book. Thank you. I don't know if that's supposed to be a hard or a soft J.
Ja.
Thank you, Ja. Yeah. It's a capital J, so it's a name for Kristen. I don't know why. You Hepid Mama. Love Usies.
And Hepid is spelled HEPPA hyphen ED or
What
dash.
does that mean?
No idea. And then
I'm
love you sees, like the
Yeah,
word
love
you and then
you.
sees as in visual sees, one word.
Love Usies.
wait.
Look, you can write
Peppa.
notes to me and your acknowledgments all you want, but if you do it like that, I will smack you upside the head.
My beautiful
Right.
or my loyal loving
okay.
fan.
Okay. The Urban Dictionary definition of pepper is someone who claims they can do impossible things.
Like what?
I don't know.
I mean, like doing something this bad is impossible. I'll give them that.
All of the other definitions are like the medical definition of HEPA with one P.
Yeah.
That's all I'm getting. So I'm also just want to know how ja or ya, depending on
Yeah.
the language it's from, is a nickname for Kristen.
Dude,
I don't know.
So now we're into the Q&A, guys. Because I know y'all want to know answers, right?
We also had this smudging to get over grief, which is effectively just going through the Kevin grieving Aphrodite scene.
Yeah, like it's fucking dumb.
Now we're up to the Q&A.
And I think the first notable question is like, what was the, or not the first, when did you start, when did you first start putting together the House of Night stories? And she answers, she's like, it wasn't even my idea. Like my agent told me to do a vampire finishing school book.
Yeah, they actually did that in, I think in either Marked or Betrayed. It was in the dedication. It was to our agent who set up himself on this first journey with just 3 words: vampire finishing school. We heart you.
Yeah.
It was like, fuck off.
So
fuck
it's like,
off with the hearting as well.
Let's see. Oh, and then ready for more political agenda, guys? Are we ready?
I think I also just need to say as well, in the audiobook, because these are in the audiobook as well as the actual book. In the audiobook, Caitlin Davies, is reading the questions, and PC and Kristen, their actual voices are answering them, and it's really jarring to me. What's the cat doing?
She's eating something in the carpet. She's been a hellion today. Like, she's been so bad today. She's normally a very, like, normal cat. She's a fucking hellion today. She's just having a bad day, I guess. I don't know. Yeah. But, yeah, what was one of the most surprising things you learned when creating the House of Night world, and what about the other world? And she was like, highlighting the hypocrisy of the Bible Belt and the type of people who attend church constantly and carry on their Bibles, but are the first to judge and condemn anyone who doesn't look, act, or behave as they do. And I'm like, that's not most Christians. But that's fine, whatever.
Yeah, no, you were talking about the most hardcore of the evangelicals.
Yeah, we were talking about this a little while ago.
Yeah, like Catholics, for example, any good Catholic will go to church minimum once a week. They'll go sometimes more than one mass a week. They go to confession, they do this, they do that. But Catholics, I have, this could be a little bit biased as well, but just from my experience, because I've been through multiple branches of Christianity, I found Catholics to be the least judgmental of the branches of Christianity.
Well, not only that, but like in House of Night, Zoe's the most judgmental bitch of them all.
Yeah.
Yes.
And she's like, I didn't plan for Aphrodite's mom to play such a significant role in Lost, but the level of racism, entitlement, and toxicity that I was and still am seeing in too many upper middle class white women informed the characters in the plot.
When that happens, I think it is a very special kind of magic. I think it's a very special kind of retardation.
Yeah. It was like, but that was like the most caricatured thing ever, and it made no sense whatsoever either.
Wait, make Tulsa strong again.
It was the dumbest thing.
It was I burst out laughing as soon as again we discussed this in that book, but I was hysterically laughing for about 5 minutes before
You
I even
were, and then
called
you had to call me.
And then it took me about 5 minutes for me to actually be able to say the line.
Yes, it did, because I was driving and I was like, "What is going on? Are you okay?" Like I thought she was dying, and then she was like, "Here's what happened," and I was like, "Now I'm dying," and it was bad.
How do I have that mug? I went to the tobacconist and I saw it and I bought it. So I went to go buy juice and then I saw this and then I exchanged monies for mugs.
Goods and services.
And it was,
Yeah.
I think this is my favorite purchase of the last decade.
It's about Stevie Ray. They talk a lot about how they didn't intend for like Stevie Ray and Fame to fall in love and how Stark was meant for her. But then Stevie Ray and Stark were like, no, that's not how this is going. We're gonna start fucking other people. Yeah. Aphrodite, blah blah.
Yeah, and Grandma Redbird is modeled after, inspired by the third face of the goddess because PC cast is pagan.
Yes.
So yeah, PC feels very blessed to write Grandma Redbird, but as the rest of us are like, I wish you would have killed her in book one.
Which,
Yeah.
Would you ever change Grandma Redbird to a vampire as she can't live forever? And PC's just like, Grandma Redbird won't be a vampire because she can't, obviously. But I can promise you, I figured out a way for her to live forever. I couldn't bear it if anything happened to her.
Damn
It's like,
it.
we have more reasons to fucking dislike you because Grandma Redbird is the most annoying piece of shit. Her identity is turquoise and lavender. Lavender?
Yeah.
Lavender,
Lavender.
Yeah.
and none of us like her.
No. Oh, here it is. All right, so you know
Yeah.
how we're talking about the artificial insemination and her bitterness?
Oh God.
So the question was raised. Zoe's birth father is never mentioned. Will he be brought up or end up being someone powerful? And I think SDA should dramatic read her answer.
Absolutely not. Zoe's birth father abandoned his children when excuse me, let me start this over. Absolutely not. Zoe's birth father abandoned his children when he and his wife divorced. He isn't powerful, he's a deadbeat dad and completely irrelevant in Z's life and in the Han world.
I sense bitterness. I feel it in my bones that there's some bitterness happening. over there.
XOXOXO.
Yeah, like
Gossip
but
girl.
one, like okay, I know, I've seen firsthand that some dads are literally just deadbeat dads,
Yes.
right? However, I've also seen more than enough to know that a lot of the times when if parents split and dad disappears,
It's because of
often there are
mom.
at least some factors, either the mum or if he. This example is because I've been rewatching Heartland lately, but the parents split happened in that because he hurt himself and got addicted to painkillers and booze.
Yeah, like
And so
there's-
he fucked off and then he had to sort his shit out and then he was gone for 10 years and then he comes back. But often there are factors. I mean, and they haven't really specified in the books that Zoe just knows fuck all. So there's a good chance that dad has tried to come back and mum was just like, fuck off, cunt.
And also, Zoe has no regard for the
Swear.
rest of her family whatsoever at all. So, who knows? Maybe her dad has tried to contact her and try to be a decent father.
I also realized that I use some. I forgot that I use worse swears when I've been drinking as well on stream.
You're
My
fine.
bad.
Have you ever regretted a plot point in any story? Have you ever looked at a character and felt sad about where they've ended up? And this answer pissed all of us off. All of us.
Okay.
Oh, what about Heath?
Yeah, she's gonna dramatic read.
Yeah.
No, I don't regret plot points, but often characters and their choices make me sad.
The characters
not
Because
cried
she has no choice.
when Jack died.
See, she's
I didn't know Heath was going to die until that terrible moment. And then, along with Zoe, I was shattered.
And
Hold on.
That-
Oh, it's done. Stop
no,
it.
but sorry.
That pissed me off too today.
I hated that Aaron Bates made such bad choices, but I'm also pleasantly surprised by characters. Shawnee's evolution was lovely. Stark's loyalty makes my heart happy. And other Nefret has been a delightful discovery. So Nefret is a power fantasy. I knew it.
But she didn't know that Heath was going to die until Kelowna killed him.
Like, I understand.
Do you think she had to, like, that's why she had to write it 5 times, like, just to make sure?
Like,
That's what happened.
I get, because recently SDA and I went through and we like looked at all of our characters in depth and we're like, all right, what are their flaws? And we realized that they do have some flaws that we like laid the groundwork for, that we like consciously were like, oh, this is actually like, this is important. We wrote this, but we made the decision for them that they have these character flaws. It's not like they one day were just like,
hey,
and I also get it.
Mommy, I would like to have this flaw. And we were like, oh, yes, of course, sweetie, you can have that flaw. That sounds like a good idea. And they were like, thank you, Mummy. I would like that flaw. That sounds like a good idea. I'd like to go be a bitch and then also fuck somebody in a fountain if you don't mind. Oh, yes, darling. That sounds like a lovely plan, don't you think? Yes, Mummy. Goodbye. Also, can I fuck a bird?
like, you have these things planned out.
I mean, I get though that sometimes because she also says in this, with one of the questions, I can't remember which one. Her answers was she knows that she's not following the character's plan when a scene, she's struggling to write a scene and it's not making sense. And I do understand that, like, there are times when you have decided, for example, this is going to be the way the scene goes, and then you're writing it and it doesn't feel right, and you reassess and you're like, okay, no, that character actually should die or something.
Yeah.
We'll use the dead thing. And I understand having that realization and then going, okay, well, and then adjusting for that. But that's not something, like, in her mind, though, Kelowna is just like, no, I have to kill Heath now, okay, PC? And she's like, but why? That'll make me sad. And he's like, because I have to kill him. Like, that's
well, like, for example, like, just to kind of put this into real life, like, with rewriting the Blades of Redwater, part of the reason why we had to do it was because it didn't make sense for the world or for the characters. Cassie! Gosh,
I had to
darn
get
it.
angry mom voice. I'm sorry. She's being a nuisance.
She really is.
See what I mean?
Part of the reason why we had to do it was because it didn't make sense for like where any of the characters were and like all the stuff that we had done. It was like,
and we had some major plot points we wanted to happen at certain points, and timelines didn't add up. So we were like, we just need to.
Yeah, and it just didn't work for like where the characters' personalities were and all that kind of stuff. But it wasn't because the characters were like, no, it was because what we had set up didn't work for what we were trying to make happen. And like sometimes, that happens. But like it's your fault.
It's not your character's fault.
It's not. They're not real. They like you feel close to them because it's your imagination and it's like your baby and it's your project and stuff. But it's not real.
Yeah, I mean the most I will concede is that when you're outlining, you might not be taking your character's journey or personality into account. Yes. And then you have to adjust for those, or it just doesn't feel right.
Well, that's kind of what happened with us.
But that's a you problem as well. That's that's a you problem. Not the characters aren't like, excuse me,
you forgot
I'd like to kill Heath now.
Yeah, right. It's like,
But then also, if that's a mistake that you keep making, because like that's I will say, having to rewrite a book, I think that's a mistake that we will strive to never make again.
This also leads me to believe as well, right, that because also if you're going to write a series, you at least have a basic idea of what is going to happen in each book.
Yeah.
Unless it's like a completely standalone episodic series, it's fine. But when it's such a heavily overarching plot series and everything, you need to know what's happening in each book.
Yeah.
If they didn't know that Heath was going to die until he died, that tells me that they're just like, end goal is Neferet gets defeated, I guess.
Yeah, and I will say, like, for the Blades of Redwater, the overall story beats stayed the same. It was just like the individual, like that book's mini plot.
Yeah.
Is what changed.
Had to change.
Yeah. Yeah.
But And the next question, this tells us that PC got diddled when she was little, not by her father, guys.
All caps, not by my father. When she was 13, which she alluded to at the end of Nefret's Curse. And we talked about that. That's your trauma. Sorry that happened to you. No one deserves that.
Yeah.
But at the same time, also know your audience.
Not
Goes
gonna
right back
lie
to know your
though.
audience.
Not gonna lie though, it shows that she was wrecked. With how she riots, it shows.
Yeah. It's like we didn't need, like, awesome.
Like
you own that.
she's
You're comfortable
yeah, 'cause
sharing that.
like she's
But-
like, I'm glad I chose love and healing over anger and darkness.
Are
like,
you
I'm
sure?
pretty sure. I'm pretty sure you still haven't made peace with it.
Yeah.
Well, she like there's a lot of hatred of men in these books, and this is PC or Kristen?
PC.
Okay, yeah, no, she clearly hates men. Nefret is clearly a power fantasy.
Yeah.
Like, and you know, like I'm sorry. And also like with the answer about Zoe's father, it's like
There's obviously some,
it's a lot. It's very
and also Zoe's stepfather, how he's a piece of garbage, and how almost every single man in the series has some sort of thing that Zoe gets pissed off at. Because like with Stark, it was that he was too controlling.
yeah.
And it's like, oh well, he's your fucking guardian. He has to be controlling to a certain
Like
extent.
if I can just like
Yeah.
one thing that's kind of interesting is like there are no strong male characters in this series.
No, they're all weak. They're all weak men.
and there's nothing wrong with being like not like I'm not even gonna say like effeminate, but like because like also nothing wrong with being effeminate, but like if you're but even if like
No,
you're not
there's something wrong
effeminate,
with being an effeminate male if you ever want to get boned by a woman.
there's nothing wrong with
Say.
being effeminate, but there's also nothing wrong with like also being masculine and still not like assertive, if that makes
But
sense.
being in a cuckoldism.
Yeah. I guess Darius is a strong male character.
Yes.
Ish.
But we don't see enough of him.
Because I feel
Yeah,
like if
for
we
it to
saw,
matter.
because if he had more screen time, he wouldn't be.
Yeah,
That's
true.
also probably true.
So,
ruin
like,
it.
you don't get any strong male characters in this series.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because Stark is
Oh.
whipped.
Yeah. The next
Like, you can
question
have
that
a back
really
then.
fucking
The second he
Is it
gets
the
it back
research
then-
question?
Oh yeah, it's
yes, her answer fucking triggered me. So someone asked, "What kind of research do you do, and how long do you spend researching before beginning a book? Also, what is your writing outline process like?" PC's response is, "I like to old school research. I have a huge library. I love to pour through text, marking up pages and writing notes to myself. And as I read, ideas begin to form and blah blah blah. And the more I write, the more I research, and I'm just like, fuck off, you do." Yeah, right.
Completely agree.
Is that
And also, it's very, and then
No, it's
absolutely
it's
not a spoiler. She hates outlining and she refuses to do it.
it is the wrong pour.
Yeah, so they also use the wrong version of pour in this. They do like face pour or skin pour instead of pour as in like,
Oh,
like
yes.
pouring rain.
Yeah.
And yeah, she's like, I hate outlining. Kristen's so much better at that than I am. And so then Kristen's like, I love outlining so much. It's impossible for me to start writing until I've outlined, especially when I don't write sequentially. And I'm like, you obviously don't outline. Because you don't know what's happening to your characters until it's actually
Well,
happening.
she's
So
not.
obviously
She's
you can
not.
outline
Well, she's not doing.
any of the
She's
writing.
the editor of this series.
Yeah, so she probably does like the preliminary outline, and the PC's just like,
Nope. Fuck
well,
that.
the characters told me that we're actually going to do this.
Yep. And then we also discover from this. I can't remember what question has this as the answer. We might have already passed it. I'm not sure. But Kristen and PC actually do co-write
Disaster.
Dry's.
Yes. That's kind
And
of
yes, and just reiterating for those who weren't there on the stream that we discovered that series, it's, I imagine it's actually supposed to be pronounced disasters, but it's spelled disasters.
because there's a
That's what
Y
they're
in
calling
it.
Because there's a Y where like disaster should be an I. It's the Dysisters.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
we purposely mispronounce it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because fuck them.
Let's see. Also, we found out
Okay,
19
there's the
when the
question.
series started.
Yeah.
That was tricky.
So she should have known how to write a teenager much better than what was actually given to us.
Yeah. We know the answer to that question. Oh. So yeah, this is when it comes out that Kristen and I actually don't write the novels together. She just edits. And so we all raised this question before the stream started of then why is her name on the front of the books?
Yeah.
If Kristen only edits and does a shitty job at editing
Yeah.
because of the amounts of misspelling and also fucking
Because I remember even when we were 12, we used to be like, there are so many typos in this book.
yeah. Yeah, and
Yeah,
but then this is when they say
I'm
you
not
get
seeing
right.
it. I'm not seeing it in the text answer to that, but I do remember hearing in the audio book. It's like we don't write the thing like the hot novels together. I do the writing. She's my editor.
Yeah.
But I swear she did say though that they do co-write the major scenes in House of Night.
We
That
all
was in the
work
audio
together
book.
and divide up the characters, choosing which characters each of us can envision the best or has
Yeah,
an
that's
automatic
for
connection with.
disasters.
Oh, that's for and then that's
Well, what's kind of
disasters.
weird about this, though, to me is she says we outline the books together, divided the characters, choosing which characters each of us can envision the best or has the best automatic connection with. Then we start writing whomever's character is the focus of the chapter writes that chapter. At the conclusion, we do physically sit together and pass the laptop back and forth, though, because there are so many characters and so many points of view going on. Oh, yay.
And as someone,
Yay.
there are two people who writes a book just like that with lots of points of views. And
I
lots
could
of
not
characters.
imagine doing it like that.
No, passing a laptop back and forth. I sit on the one couch, she sits on the other couch, and we write using Dropbox.
Not only that,
files.
though, we
Mhm.
do not write separate chapters. Like,
Yeah, no, like we both at the end of the day, we have both equally contributed to every single chapter.
yeah, like honestly, I couldn't tell you who's done more.
Who's written what? at this
I
point.
couldn't tell
Yeah.
you who has written what, and that's how it should be,
Yes.
at least in my opinion. Because like we don't ever say to each other, "Hey, do you like this character better?"
No.
And like who should write
We
what.
just
It'll like
go.
there'll be days where it'll be like, "Hey,
I can't
I
fucking
don't
write
feel
this.
like writing Everton right now. Do
Yeah.
you want to write it and I'll take Blackwoods?" Or I'll be like, I don't really want to write this chapter. Do you want to, like, she'll be like, do you want to write Blackwoods? And I'll take Everton, and I'll
Yeah.
be like, sure. And we'll just like split it up that way. And then we'll go back and like,
Yeah.
and, like that's how we'll do it. But
Yeah.
other than that, like
I can't imagine solo writing chapters.
yeah, no, we don't
'Cause
do
the
it
And then
like
writing
that.
trying
style
to
at
make
the end of
them
the
mesh with another person.
At the end of the day, the writing styles, no matter if you're mother-daughter, your writing styles are going to be different.
Our writing styles
Are different.
are very different. But in Blackwoods, you can't tell because we
both
co-write.
written. Yeah.
So
Yeah,
by the
and-
time that like we have both heavily edited each other's work, our writing
It's a
styles are
blend.
interlaced.
Yeah. And okay, the next question, the answer really pissed me off as well. I probably have a stronger reaction to this than you two because I've got kids.
Yeah.
But it was like the question is like, have you two ever gotten to the point where one of you does not want to work with the other one for a while? And PC, like I understand the first part where like PC didn't get along with her mother didn't go along with her mother,
Yeah.
and she wanted to break the cycle and blah blah blah. And I get that, fair enough. But she was like, when she was a child, I made the rules and enforced them, but I also listened, and so far I'm still fine.
Yeah.
Like, I try to understand things from her perspective and understand her. I've made mistakes and I try and do better next time, blah, blah, blah. But then when she gets to, Kristen is my best friend, I wouldn't fight with my bestie. Your
Yes.
child should never, ever, ever be your best friend.
Yeah.
That's not what a child
If you are a good parents, it is impossible for you to be best friends with your child.
I will
You can
never
be-
forget me like
You can be
yelling at my
incredibly
dad
close.
when I was 5, being like,
Mm.
I'm not going to be your friend anymore. And he was like, that's fine. I'm your father.
Yeah, like I love my mom. You know, I adore her, all that stuff. I can talk to her about stuff. She can talk to me about stuff.
Yeah.
Obviously still, I mean, she talks to me about a lot more now that I'm an adult,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
Well, that's how it is.
There's also still a line as well. Like as a parent, like even if your kid's 50, it's still your responsibility to, like, if you're having marital problems with your child's other parent, you know, you don't bring your kids into that even if they're fucking 50.
Yeah.
It's got nothing to do with them. And so then how can you be best friends with, like, you as a parent, even if it's not their father, like, that you're having problems with, if you're having, like, if you've split and you've got a new boyfriend, you still don't discuss that with your kid.
Right.
But that's what best friends do. They talk through their own issues with each other. So you cannot be best friends with your child and still be a responsible parent. And that just really pissed me off. That she's like, she's my bestie. I'm like, you're a bad mother. If you think of your child as your best friend, you're a bad mother. It's one thing for a child to think of their parent as a best friend.
Yeah.
But for a parent to think of a child as a best friend,
Yeah.
it's irresponsible. And I'm done.
Yeah, like my
Sorry.
mom would probably describe me as like a confidant in some situations, but like she would never be like, "You're my BFF gal pal." Like there's some things that you shouldn't talk to your child about. Exactly. Like,
Yeah, you should be able to tell your parents anything. Well, almost anything.
yeah, there's some things.
Like
you
there are
shouldn't.
some things, but like you know what I mean.
Yeah, I wouldn't discuss my sex life with my
wet.
mother.
R-A-V.
But you should be able to, like, most important things.
Yes.
You should be able to go to your parents about if you have a good relationship with
Yeah.
them. And so your parents, you know, you should be able to go to them if you need help.
Yes.
But, you know, your parents shouldn't be coming to you
like, yeah, with marital
with their
problems.
problems
Like,
because they're
Yeah.
your parents.
yeah,
I
like
mean, like,
depending on
if-
the issue.
Well, yeah,
if-
exactly.
If the problem is something that affects the whole family,
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah,
But if
right.
it's like,
But if
oh,
it's-
I got in a
but if
fight with
it's
your
just-
dad last week and it really pissed me off.
I'm like, I
Unless
don't
it's
need
a
to know that.
genuine
that.
concern.
My shoes and we got into an epic blowout over it and blah blah blah. That's not
I'm like,
something
go
you
call
discuss.
Carol.
Yeah, it's like go call your friends about that. Like, I don't
Go call
want
the
to
sewing
know.
club.
Yeah, because like it can fuck up your child. Like you said, if they're 50 and your parent is coming to you saying like, oh yeah, your dad and I are not doing like lit right now.
I'm like, I didn't know you guys could not be lit.
Yeah, it's like,
And I'm 50.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
it's like I don't need to know that about you guys. Like
Yeah,
you guys
they're-
work that out
they're-
yourselves.
I'm like, please let me exist in my bubble where I think you guys are lit all the time.
yeah,
Yeah, like one thing as well, like growing up, like when I look back and even now still, I don't really have any memory of my parents arguing. Like not
Neither
even
do I,
having
really.
minor disagreements because
I
they
don't think
kept
so.
they didn't do that in front of us. You know, like I couldn't tell you how often they fought because I've got no idea, literally none. But there's times where like mum will be like, "Your dad's in a bad mood, so leave him alone," type thing, and like that's the most I'll get in terms of your dad's being a jerk right now or something like that. Like, you know, that's it. Just be sensitive. He's in a bit of a bad mood, and that doesn't even have anything to do with mum half the time either. It's just
yeah.
he's in a bad mood. He had a shit day at work. Let's give him some space, okay?
Yeah. The next question
This
that
is
we raised,
hilarious.
it's not really the answer that irritates me so much. It's the question because this person says, being a part of the LGBTQ plus community, I've always loved and appreciated the representation in your books.
How?
This book is so offensive to gay people because all their identities are, if they're gay, is interior decorating and musicals.
I feel like that one's a sock puppet.
like yeah, that's not real.
Yeah, that's not a real one.
But yeah, like their answer also pissed me off because I'm like, you guys are super stereotypical and hypocritical.
Yeah.
I
Dumb.
cannot imagine them trying to do like a gender non-conforming person or
Yeah,
a
because that was part 2
transgender
of that
person.
question.
Because it was like, would you ever include a transgender vampire or a gender non-conforming person? And I'm like, oh my god, can you imagine them trying to do a non-binary person or a transgender person? Like,
It'd be so offensive.
like no matter what my personal views on gender non-conformity are or non-binary, like
Yeah.
whatever the heck I think, okay? Any of that aside, because it doesn't matter, you know, I don't care. Like, that is whatever the case may be. If any of that ever ended up in my books, I would do my absolute best
Lots of research.
to do lots of research. I would actually have somebody. I would actually use sensitivity readers.
I will say, if they have a gender non-conforming person or whatever, I do have a specific gender that I want this person to be. Are you ready for this?
Yes.
Vapor gender.
Yay. I agree.
Like, have I told you what vapor gender is before?
I don't know. I hope it has to do with vaping.
Okay. No, vapor gender is a gender that sort of feels like smoke. Can be seen on the shallow level, but once you go deeper, it disappears and you're left with no gender and only tiny wisps of what you thought it was.
Yeah. Okay.
And I read another definition of this that's had that like an additional sentence that is, or carry on from that. And every time you try to grasp it, it slips through your fingers.
Yeah.
Okay.
I want that one.
Yeah.
I want that one to be the non-binary character that they introduce.
Either way, like if I were to do it, I would do a ton of research. I can actually think of certain people that like I would be asking a billion questions to on how to do it properly and everything.
Reasons,
and I would
100%.
have them set. I would actually be like, I will do like whatever you need me to do to have you like read this for like sensitivity purposes to make sure that this is not offensive in any way because I don't want to do anything wrong because you know, like. I just, yeah.
Your best bet when it comes to that kind of stuff is to just, for the most part, just not do it. Because if they get pissed at you for not including a non-binary person, can you imagine the shit show?
It would be worse if you
do it wrong.
If you did it like, yo, we have gay people and their whole identity is interior decorating in musicals. That's not how all homosexual men are. There is a range of. Yes, some of them love interior decorating musicals, and there's also some that are so masculine that you would not even know that they're gay.
Yes.
Yeah, because you can't identify them via stereotypes.
I mean,
there's just
let's be honest, there are some men that you look at and just go gay, 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 gay,
yeah,
gay.
And that's fine. And it's fine to see a man who's like, because there's someone I know who's super masculine but also super gay, and like he gets checked out like. One time he and I went to Home Depot and he was getting checked out in a Home Depot by a woman. Yeah, you know.
Yes. There are gay men like that. They just
they don't have to exude that energy for them to be gay. Like that does not have to be their identity.
Right.
Like their sexuality is not their identity. Anyways, but PC Cast and Kristen Cast don't understand that. Then in another question, PC Cast went on a rant about illegally downloading books. Like, all right.
I think I quit before I got to that.
Here's our favorite question, guys. Who are your top 3 personal favorite characters? And the least favorites don't matter, so just read the favorites.
Oh, I'm actually kind of interested.
Oh, the least favorites are just dumb. They're just
Faves.
dumb.
Aphrodite. She has always been. This is PC Cast. Faves. Aphrodite. She has always been very easy for me to write, and I love the evolution of her character. 2, Grandma Redburn. She is the incarnation of the crone, the third face of the goddess, so writing her feels like a blessing. 3, Lenovia. She has 3 horses. Least faves. 1, Zoe's mom. She represents all those moms who used to sit across the table from me at parent-teacher conferences trying to justify why their teen was always failing or acting out when it was obvious their child was screaming to be heard, to be a priority. 2, Aphrodite's mom. She's an entitled racist person who deserves the end she got. No, she didn't. Her husband died in front of her, and you're a bitch. 3, Nefret. I don't actually dislike Nefret because she's you, but she is a difficult character to write because of her descent into darkness.
I think Nefret, like as a if I with what Neferet, let's just assume that this series was written well, okay?
Yeah.
Let's just suspend reality for a second and pretend that this series was written well. Neferet would have, if I was the author, Neferet would have been my favorite character.
She could have
probably
been a
would have the
fan
most fun to
favorite.
write.
Yeah.
She would have been the most fun to write. Like the villain, an intricate villain,
Villains can be fun.
is often the funnest character to write.
Yeah.
Villains should be fun. Your off-color characters are usually the most fun to write because, like, there's a lot of interesting things you can do with them. Because also, you can go places you can't go with, like, your nice characters, with your villainous characters, and then also, like, this piece of this character that was like this mom figure for Zoe, who is now no longer this mom figure. That was like this aspect of that character arc that like we lost along the way, and
Yeah.
that was really
Neferet was meant to be a
interesting
mentor.
for half a minute.
Yeah.
And then it wasn't. Kristen Cass, my absolute favorite characters are one, Heath. He's such a squishy love bug, and I love him and adore him. Two, Aphrodite.
Fucking
She's so
hate her.
sassy and fabulous, and she's grown on me so much. I'd love it if she was my friend.
She would
Three,
bully you
Jack.
so hard.
I am so glad she's back. I'm still
Stop.
mad at PC for killing him. My least favorite characters are one, Lauren Blake. He was a total predator, and then he was murdered twice. Two, Dallas. He was turned into such an ass. Yuck. And three, the White Bull, because he was, well, evil.
Again, the White Bull should have been a fun character to write.
Yeah. Let's see.
Oh, if you could bring alive one person from
Yeah.
the book, from either world, who would it be and why? PC, Grandma Redbird, because the world needs more kindness and wisdom. And you
And
know what? I
lavender
can't be
cookies.
And lavender cookies. You know what? I feel like
I can't be
if
mad
she
at
was-
Kristen's answer to that question, though.
yeah, Aphrodite, because Aphrodite would like bitch slap Kristen Cass in the
Aphrodite would-
fucking face.
Yeah, I don't think Kristen understands that Aphrodite would hate her.
Yeah, I don't think she knows. And I think it's adorable. And then also, like, do you think the world would tilt off its axis if one day Grandma Redbird baked sugar cookies?
Yes.
Like a black hole would just open
Oh,
up and
or-
everything would die?
Or, like, let's get a little bit bland here. If she made fucking oatmeal cookies.
Oh no.
Or just, are you ready for this? This one's really going to blow your mind. Just chocolate chip without lavender.
But that's it. That's the Q&A.
Be still my beating heart.
Yeah, honestly, like, that's illegal.
I can't believe you just said that.
And if she, like, liked amethyst instead of turquoise?
Get
You
out.
said it. This is my house.
Get out.
This is my apartment.
Go into the hallway. That's enough of you.
Yeah.
I won't have this kind of blasphemy.
Um,
Who would illegally download the series? Well, don't pay. I don't endorse that. I'm an author.
we're just all gonna vape. We all actually, like, I know you and I actually did buy all.
I
these
bought
books.
this
Like,
book. I have, you know what? That's the thing. Like, I have actually paid for all of these
I
books.
have paid like for the full first series up until Destined, because I bought Destined. That was the last one I ever bought. But of
PC
course, support
Cast.
authors no matter what. But
PC
fuck.
Cast, PC and Kristen Cast have a lot of my parents' money.
They do. Yes, they do.
Mm-hmm. And I
So they
don't
do.
think they realize as well, because she's like, I imagine that this would in some ways translate over to books and stuff, because it works this way in terms of movies, TV shows, and music. Pirating actually does help. Like,
Yeah.
sales do go up. Like, sales,
Well-
like per capita, they've gone up since pirating became an easy thing to do.
Well, yeah, and also like I know some musicians, like my favorite band, they're like fucking illegally downloaded. We don't make much money off it anyways. We make money off tours.
Well, I can't remember which musician actually said this, because this was quite a few years ago, maybe about, I think I might have still been with my ex when I heard this. So, long time ago. I heard an interview with a musician on the radio, and they got asked, like, what are you upset about this? Might have been someone from ACDC even. I don't know. Big, quite possibly Australian, you know, but huge. And they were just like, how is pirating music any different from what we used to do back in the day, which was sit with our cassette radio and record every song as it came on.
Yeah.
He's like, every single person has pirated even before pirating was what it is.
Yeah, and then there's like also I think it might have been Mayday Parade who said this. But you know, if you go like that far out of your way to consume
I think it was the drummer.
my content, I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
Like if you want it that bad, you can have it. Yeah, like if you risk the jail time to read my book, you know, I'm cool with that. Just review it. Like that's all I ask. Review it on Goodreads if that's how you consume it, because that helps. Because like a review on Goodreads helps more than like the $1 that I'm gonna get. Because we make the most money off of signed copies and audiobook sales is how we really we really make money. That and like YouTube.
Yeah.
So
and also just for every person that is willing to pirate a book, they have at least 10 friends who aren't willing to pirate. And that's one of the ways as well that like most entertainment industries have actually benefited from pirating is people that wouldn't have spent money on it have listened to it, watched it, read it, and told their friends who actually aren't willing to pirate it, so they'll go out and buy it.
Yeah, well,
whereas
because
without that recommendation, they wouldn't.
It expands your reader base because somebody who wouldn't have read it otherwise because they would have had to pay money for it has read it, has liked it, and then they were like, "Oh, I like this." And then also sometimes when people pirate something like the first book and they like it, they'll go buy the second. They might go buy the first book, but then they might buy the second book.
Yeah,
they already have the first book.
Well, and if I pirate, not that I would ever pirate, but if I were to hypothetically pirate a book and really, really enjoy it, I would actually then go and buy a physical copy of the book.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Because I want it on my shelf.
Yeah.
Even if I never opened the physical copy, I would still.
Well, yeah, I actually have like a lot of, I collect hardcovers that I don't ever touch, but I do collect hardcovers. So, and I didn't actually start collecting hardcovers until I got hardcovers of my own, but now I collect them. And so, you know, like it's not bad to have your work read. It's actually good. So if somebody goes out of their way to pirate my work, all I ask is that you review it. That's all I ask. That's
unless it's a shit review, then don't.
Yeah,
that's rude.
Yeah, because you pirated it, so like.
At least if you're gonna leave a shit review, at least pay.
Yeah, pay for it if you're gonna leave 1 star. God damn it.
Unless the author is PC Cast or Kristen Cast.
We paid for Forgotten. I earned that.
Exactly, you did.
And like I said, I have purchased.
We've given a lot of money to the cast.
So much of their stuff.
Because I think I also had the Fledgling Handbook back in the day. I think it's in my parents' attic.
I've got the Fledgling Handbook, and I think I also have Nix in the House of Night. I don't think I've ever opened. Yes, I discovered the other day when I was packing, and it was like at the back of my bookshelf, hidden, which was very smart of me.
Yep.
But yeah, no, I also have Nix in the House of Night. And yeah, no.
Yeah. So we are done with House of Night for a while.
Woo!
We're going to be moving on to, we're going to be going back to good old Jennifer L. Armentrout. Do we know what series we're doing?
No, because I've never been exposed to Jenny, so y'all are exposing me to Jenny.
Oh, do you know what that means? Next Bad Book Week, we have to have our purple sweet potato ice cream.
Oh, good.
I'm gonna die if it's actually really nice.
I am too. I don't want it to be good.
Oh, You know what though? Compared to
Vegemite ice cream?
yeah, no, it'll be amazing compared to that, no matter how bad it is.
Yeah, I know, right?
Okay, we've done Dark Elements, we've done Lux, except for the Lux Consequences. But then Addie would have to binge all of the Lux series.
I already binged all the House of Nights again since
We
August.
won't make you do that. We will probably, because Lux is like only, the Lux Consequences is only like, what, 2 books at this point?
Well, we've done Lux.
Crap.
Yeah, so 2 books.
So
Lux.
it's 2 books, Lux's.
Yep, and
So
then there's also
you and I will probably do Lux the next 2 by ourselves. Because you'd have to read a bunch of books.
Dawn time.
Yeah, let me just double check something. I just want to say one thing. Yeah, no. I just wanted to say something, but that's correct. Because because if you were to be part of Lux, it would have to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7
Yeah.
books. One of those is a spin-off. 7 books and 1 novella before we could get into the new Lux.
After we do Bloodlines, we can just knock out the 2 Lux books in a week if you want to.
Yeah, we'll do that.
You and I can do that. We can just take a week and just do it and be done.
Yep. Okay, do we want to do one of her grown-up book series?
What does that mean?
She does it. She does young adult / new adult /
Does that mean it's porn?
romance. She does romance books as well.
Oh God.
Actually, I think most of the books, the series that we have left, are romance series for Jenny.
Are
Well,
they
I
all
think we should do
narrated
the
by
Gamble
Christine Eyre?
Brothers series.
What?
I think we should do the Gamble Brothers series because I think
Let's-
that was one of her. I think that was one of her first romance series. That she
Gamble
did.
Brothers? Is that what you said?
Yep. Yep.
Let's do
Tempting the
it.
best man, tempting the player, and tempting the bodyguard.
Oh my God.
Oh
what the-
fuck yeah!
What does that even mean?
Tempting the best man,
Oh
Gamble
my
Brothers.
God.
Well, here guys,
By
y'all are
Jalen.
still here, so we're gonna
All
read you the
right.
synopsis.
Okay, I'm gonna do a
reading,
dramatic
SDA.
reading of the. I'm gonna do a dramatic reading. Of the
Next
synopsis.
bad book week.
Next time on Bad Book Week, Madison Daniels has worshipped her brother's best friend since they were kids. Everyone thinks she and Chase Gamble, oh my God, really? Sorry.
Jesus fucking
Would make the perfect couple.
Oh, that's why it's the
But
Gamble
they're-
Brothers.
But there are 2 major flaws in their logic. 1, Chase has sworn off relationships of any kind. And
Because of course
2,
he has.
after blurring the line between friends and lovers for one night 4 years ago, they can't stop bickering.
Of course they can.
Forced together for her brother's wedding getaway, Chase and Madison decide to call a truce for the happy couple. Except all bets are off when they're forced to shack up in a tacky 70 honeymoon suite and survive the multitude of accidents as the family tries to prove their spark could be used for more than fighting. Strangle each other.
Oh, I'm fucking in.
What the
So
Okay, so
But you know
so
what?
each of the books is
This
about a
stuff
different.
sells. This has, hold on.
Yeah.
This has 30,000 ratings on Goodreads. Why are we writing fantasy and putting effort into anything?
it's okay.
What are we?
One day we'll have a romance.
What are we
Wait.
doing?
But guys, okay, so each of the Gamble Brothers books focuses on each of the Gamble brothers. So the first one is Chase Gamble. The second one is Chad Gamble.
Oh no.
Now, I was expecting to open the third one and have it be Charles Gamble, but it's Chandler. So they have Chase, Chad, and Chandler.
Great.
And that just,
Wonderful.
I would imagine it would be very difficult to have 2 sons named Chad and Chandler. Because they're just too similar. But yeah, So Chase, Chad, and Chandler Gamble are the main men in these 3 books.
All right. We're doing it.
So that's, yeah. We'll do
My
Jenny.
announcement is that I would like a private jet. So our next book is not going to be the next Blackwoods book.
We're starting tonight, man.
We're starting tonight. We're going to write a romance series. It's going to be a contemporary romance, and I don't know what it's going to be. It kind of doesn't. What?
Faye, you know that if you write a romance series, you have to have vivid sex scenes, right?
I understand this,
If it makes us money, we'll do it.
but
We'll just get really drunk and write sexy.
but apparently this is how you
Make money.
I don't know why why am I putting so much effort into writing books? Like, this is what you do.
You heard it here first,
This
guys.
is how you make money, and
We're
then
gonna
you
write a
do
romance series.
and then you do passion projects on the side. Money, passion projects. Money, passion projects. Money, effort. Money, effort. I don't know what we're doing with our lives.
I mean, let's write a romance series.
Let's do it.
I'm sure our
You think I'm kidding?
dedicated betas will
And-
be fucking
And
game.
remember as well, you need to come up with many euphemisms to refer to sex organs.
Oh, we got that.
Because you can't you can't do what happened in 50 Shades either, where it was constantly my sex.
And his
And the
member.
ones where it's like my modesty or my wetness.
It's forbidden. That's a forbidden
My
word.
flickering cavern.
Not bad. I think we got this, guys. I think we got this.
This is supposed to be literotica, okay? You cannot refer to it as that.
Well, guys, this is House of Night.
Anyway, so we're gonna go
wait,
write a romance
Final
series.
words about House of Night for the next year.
This has driven us to write a romance series.
Yes.
That's where we've been.
I'm gonna go save James Stark, the other one. I'll
Yeah.
see y'all later.
And I don't know.
Mara, any last words?
If Neferet doesn't fuck Neferet in the next book, I'm gonna be pissed.
Cool.
And butt sex. Good night. And